Welcome to another edition of Banter and Babble on the Road. Is that what we should call this? Banter and Babble
Yes.
on the B&B on the road?
Check that out right on the cuff.
B&B on the road. And today, Tone, we are live once again from Coy's Comic here in Saginaw, Michigan.
Been a long time.
It's been a hot minute since we've been at Coy's Comics.
It's true. It's true.
So I'm trying to use my indoor voice because they are conducting business today.
It means you got to watch your swearing.
Dude, remember we tried doing it at the Middle Mall Comic Con a couple years ago?
Yeah,
I think
and your
I
mouth just kept going off.
I seriously, not even like 20 minutes in. And I remember I started the show. I was like, this is going to be a family-friendly episode
Right.
of the Comic Con. And I think like 20 minutes later, F-bomb. And I was like, God dang
It
it,
was
dude.
awful.
That's why we can't have nice things, can't take me places.
That's why we're not allowed back anymore.
Well, I know we snuck in here. Oh, I know what you're saying. Oh, yeah.
Anyways.
Welcome back. Anyways, Tone, what are we doing at Coy's Comics today?
We are here for a special event that they're doing called A Weekend in the Dungeon.
Yes.
And we have our good pals, 7 Dungeons are all here as well, or
Yep.
a few of them, I should say,
Yep.
running D&D one-shots, conversations.
Mhm.
I know HABR Josh is walking around here somewhere getting some D-roll, so
Oh, yeah.
lots of D. But yeah, he's here, so we'll get a chance to talk to him. But yeah, we're here just kind of live streaming, gonna have some conversations. Later on, we're gonna play some games.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, of course, we want to thank Steve and Brandi for allowing our crew to come in here, like
Just overtake
our
the
whole-
store.
Yeah, our content bros here to come in and just have a fun weekend of doing this. They've got some great stuff here now. So if you're in the area and need some D&D stuff, whether that's books, dice, they got some D&D themed snacks up there, some jerky.
I seen the jerky. I was actually
Yeah.
thinking about grabbing one before we went live.
Apparently
I forgot.
it's delicious. So yeah, and hey, maybe we'll grab one after we go like
I really
BRB
think we
stream.
should.
We'll grab a couple and we'll try check them out because apparently they're really good.
Well, see,
so,
what's going to happen is when we get to the after-hour party
yeah.
and I get a couple beers in me, I'm going to
Yeah.
eat that whole shelf
Yeah,
of jerky.
they're going to have to keep the register open all night for you.
Seriously, just going to keep tapping.
right. So, but yeah, so we're here doing that. So right now we're gonna, just hang out, have some conversations for a little bit, and then we're gonna prep for a little Q&A session or maybe an informational session here with Drasten and myself.
Yep.
And then later tonight, the exciting piece will be we're going to do a one shot with Steve and Brandi. Britt will be here.
Yes.
You, Josh, and then Drasten's going to DM us. So we're going to try and get that live streamed or recorded, whatever ends up working out, of course. But check the video later to see where that ended up. But,
I really want to get that live because I really think
Yeah.
that'd be a lot of fun for people to see how these sessions, like these one-shot sessions,
Mhm.
play out. And how easy it is to kind of like set up and make those happen. Obviously, it's not easy if you're not familiar with how to
Right.
do it. But I mean, that's what kind of like what the panel will be for a little bit later
Mm-hmm.
on. Ask some questions, get some ideas of how you yourself can put together a one-shot session for you and friends, and to really just kind of like get into dungeon or being a dungeon master, which is
Mhm.
it's difficult at first, but with the right guidance and the right
Yeah.
input from asking the right people, I mean, a lot of people can do this thing.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And nice thing is like the 7 Dungeons crew too. Like even if you do or don't join in their Discord, I always recommend it, especially if you're wanting to
Yeah.
dabble in D&D.
Yep.
Like there is a resource, a tool. Drasten's always willing to give some information, advice,
Yeah.
things in that nature. So and if you're in the local area here of Saginaw, the Tri-Cities, you don't got nothing going on. It's a little overcast today. It's a perfect day for it. But come on in.
yeah,
There's still some slots open, and including tomorrow.
yeah,
on
it's
Sunday.
not just today. The live stream is today, but tomorrow
Yeah.
they got one shots planned throughout
Yeah.
the day. It's a weekend in the dungeon.
Yeah, call up to the store, you get a slot or walk in, and we may have some slots open as well. So all kinds of fun stuff. And I do want to make sure I mention right away, we've got some great stuff. So I got a little note here because I wanted to double check. But if you do come into the store today, this weekend, there's 15% off everything except for new comics. So a little sale this weekend, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
If you play a session, check this out. And you're a
Uh-oh.
rewards member, double reward points if you play a session. So I'm going to be asking about that because even though I'm help streaming, I'm playing tonight. I want to
He
give them
wants
double points.
that double point.
Right. And they're doing they're working with Undercover Angels, which is the local one of the animal rescues that we got here. They're working and doing some events with them and some charity stuff as well. So
Awesome.
make sure to check out either the website, come in and talk to them about those sort of stuff. So great stuff. D&D here. Also 15% off everything except for new comics in the store. So I already got an action figure up.
Oh,
there
dude, we get here and we're setting up. He's just walking around, just cherry picking stuff off
Oh,
shelves.
my
He's like,
God.
just put this in the basket for me.
It's funny too because I'm here like every other week or so, and I come in and whether I'm picking up comics or not, this is the side I'm always on. I'm always up and down that, so I know what's here. There's things over here I've been eyeing for a year, and I've got this. I'll talk about this thing here in front of me shortly, but like we've got. It's like overwhelming for me because all I'm doing is just like looking around. I know I want.
This is Tone's sanctuary.
This is my
one of the sanctuaries.
This is my favorite place in town to be. This is everything.
If it's not Eastman's in the Midland, it's here where he likes to be.
Right. Get my beer and then get my collectibles and everything here. Absolutely.
But so it's gonna be a fun event. There's gonna be a lot of stuff going on today and tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in the area, like Tone said, come on over to Koi's Comics right here on Bay Road, or you can call in advance, see if there's an opening for one of these sessions, and come on down. Bring a friend, bring a family member. Take up a whole table. And just have some fun. They'll guide you through it. It's not meant to be a long session, but usually about an hour long,
hour and a half, whatever. Yeah.
So and you can learn a lot. You can ask these guys a lot of questions. They're very approachable and they're very knowledgeable. And if you want to know anything about being a dungeon master, Drasten's the guy to ask.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. And don't worry if you've never really played before.
Like,
This is meant more even for everybody. If you're new to the game,
it's like onboarding.
Yeah.
Get into it.
It's a good point to do it. And don't feel weird because there's other people playing you might not know. None of that stuff matters. When you're playing this, it's an experience, and everybody is part of that. And it's all positive. Everybody wants to see everybody enjoy themselves. That's the important piece.
And from what I've gathered and from what I can tell, it's and you've discovered this with the toy community. It's very welcoming. The D&D community, from my understanding, and from what I've gathered, is like they're very welcoming. They want to get as many people in to learn and have fun and share that experience. I mean, it's a great way to kind of like get out of your shell. If you're in a shell, like I get locked up all the time. There's times where. Sometimes I feel like I'm at home and there's a lot of people around. Other times I am just like,
right.
I'm like this. But doing this sort of thing allows you to kind of like just get into character and have some fun with it. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's a great experience. Like I said, these guys here put on a great show and they work and they're really good with newcomers. So make sure you come on out here and check it out. Sign up, call ahead if you need to, and we'll be streaming here throughout the day. But Tone, it's been a minute since we've gone live together.
It has been a minute. Life's been a little bit busy, I think. You certainly have got a lot on your plate these days.
Oh, dude. Nice.
I know, I get it. And like, as you all still see, there's still content coming out. Like we've evolved a little bit. We still do plan on doing like actual banter and babble proper sessions. It just might be less periodically right now, and it's kind of already, as you can kind of see, and sometimes it might even be recorded pieces or segments just because of time frames and things of the nature. It's just easier and better. But I'm digging deep as I can with the world building, with unboxings, painting stuff. I haven't done a lot recently, but I have done some Let's Set the Tones. You can check out some conversations, some great ones. I had a good one last weekend with Rad from Rad Toys Galaxies. Somehow the United States government allowed him to cross from Canada. Able to secure him in here for a conversation. Wenzilla put up a great toy hunting vlog from last weekend of just the three of us doing some of that stuff. So make sure to check that out as well. We'll have the links in the description here down the road as well. But and you've been gaming your face off on you and Tricky have been diving into that
Split Fiction.
Split Fiction, and what a game, right,
dude? Split Fiction has been probably the most impressive title I've played this year, and that's crazy to think that because there's been a lot of great games that have already come out in 2025 and we're only in April, but it is honestly, man, I loved It Takes Two. No Way Out was a great introduction to Hazel Light Studios, but Split Fiction to me so far, Trick and I have one chapter to go, and this is the one that like you would read about on social media when the reviews came out for Split Fiction. The final chapter is the one where it was like unanimous. Everyone was saying the same thing. You won't believe it when you see it. Like, it is one of the most mind-blowing experiences.
That's crazy.
And I mean, these are gamers that play a lot of games. So I mean, they've seen a lot of mind-blowing. But the final chapter is supposed to be one of the most exciting, just craziest chapters in a game.
That's crazy.
And I mean, I hope I'm not overhyping it in my head, but I mean, a lot of these people, I mean, they play a lot of games. And for them to sit there and say this is one of the most mind-blowing things ever, it's just like, which is crazy, man, because like in the last couple chapters that Trick and I have played, in my mind, I'm just like, oh, this must be it.
Right.
This must be the chapter that everyone's been talking about, but the way it ends, the dragon battle in one, and then another one, and you're just like, how are you supposed to top these?
Yeah, right.
It's just like, oh my God, we still have the big one to go. So really enjoying it. It is seriously one of the best cooperative experiences I've ever played, if not the best. Hazelite just finds a way to not only, the thing that makes Split Fiction so unique is how they're able to take ideas from other genres, not just game, not a specific genre.
Yeah, at all.
Like just everything. And find a way to make it a cooperative experience in a way that you're just like, it makes sense to it. It doesn't feel forced.
Right.
You're just like, oh my God, I never would have thought to have played pinball like this.
Right.
And that's all I'm going to say. And I know you haven't seen it yet, but I think maybe you caught a glimpse of it and then you cut away because you didn't want to have it spoiled.
Yeah,
but I mean, it
them.
is a absolutely just incredibly well done game.
Awesome.
And for Hazelite to and the game and the friend pass thing just makes it that much better.
Yeah.
Because it is a game that you have to play cooperatively. You have to play cooperatively. You can't play single player. And if you don't have someone to play couch co-op, which it works great.
That's what we do.
That's what you guys did. I did that with my son. It's awesome couch co-op. But if you play online, one person buys the game and you can invite anybody to come play it with you. All they have to do is download the friends version, the friend pass client, and they will invite you and you can just play with them. I mean, and considering that's EA backed game, that's wild that they would just be like, just give it away.
Yeah.
Got a couple people in the chat. Jay Hill's here. He said, Jay Hill says, haven't seen this setup in a long time.
Yeah,
it's been a minute. I mean, it's been about a year since it's been that Koi's.
At least.
If not a little bit more. Britt, hopefully this isn't giving too much away, but I love the pig chapter. The pig chapter is amazing. That was hilarious.
It was the ending for me, and that's all I'll say. That caught her, and both of us off guard, but that entire chapter ending, I was dying laughing the entire time. I was trying to, the game is incredible. As somebody who I really haven't been playing a lot of games, I've been playing some Avowed, and I'm really hooked into that. I just haven't had the time to play it because I've been working on content so much.
Yeah.
But the Split Fiction is literally, like you said, it's one of the best co-op games I've probably played in a long, long time. And if it could debatably be one of those ones that say, as much as I played couch co-op Halos and stuff like this, this is a next level kind of experience because you're getting all kinds of gameplay, all kinds of genres. Not only that, but control-wise, graphic-wise, everything else about it is done so well.
Yeah,
and they just keep switching up every chapter, there's always a shtick or something different or whatever it is, puzzle or this, that, and the other, and it all just works. And you're just when you're done with it, you're like, that was an incredible experience. And then you're on to the next one. You're like, that was an incredible experience.
Can't top, not going to top this one. They top that one. It's just
right. I'm like, they're not gonna top Tron Light Cycles for me, basically. And it did.
See, now, if there's one thing, if I had to sit there, and the only thing that I would say is I actually love the sci-fi storyline. Those levels to me are just because that sci-fi to me is all, I love fantasy, but sci-fi is right where you're getting me good, And the sci-fi levels have just been incredible.
Sure.
But that's not to say the fantasy ones aren't great. It's just sci-fi hits a little bit deeper for me because dude, you play this game, you see Tron, you see Blade Runner, you see all these inspirations, and these are all movies that I grew up with. I'm just like, this is amazing.
Yeah. See, for me, it's like a down the middle. I'm just as excited because this or of this, because I'm a big all around kind of fantasy person, I suppose. But just some of the intuitiveness of each storytelling brand, the Ice King, all that stuff, even that, man, and just the platforming in this game.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, if you grew up in that early, and I grew up, we were still kind of older, but that the PS2 era right away when everything went more 3D and more platform,
the Ratchet and Clank,
Jack and Daxter, the all those sort of things. Man, it was a different era for those kind of games, and I love those kind of games. And it's I'm getting it. Well, nostalgia again.
And see, the thing I like about the platforming in this is there's a little bit of magnetism to the jumping because there are some sections where it is chaos.
Yes.
And you're in a platforming stage. And I can't tell you if it was a game that didn't have that little magnetism where you jump towards something and if you don't have it right, you fall. And I was like, man,
this is definitely forgiving a little bit.
Oh, very forgiving, but enough where you're just you're still on the edge of your seat because everything else around you is just chaos. And you're like, I can't get comfortable anyways.
Yeah.
Jay Hill asks, have you watched the Tron Ares teaser trailer yet?
I still have not.
I have. I thought it looked rad. I thought it really looked cool. They're bringing basically everything into the real world.
Which is kind of what... Could you tell from the trailer if they're going to address the Son of
Not
Flynn?
one bit. Not one. I mean, you don't even see Flynn. You hear him, like you can hear Flynn, but I don't think we even see Jeff Bridges in the trailer.
I just wonder because like it was always kind of like something that because Clue was kind of trying to do that. I
Yes,
felt
Clue wanted to get out.
right.
Clue
like,
wanted to go out and cause trouble.
Yeah,
Or not. Well, no, Clue was no, it was young Flynn. The young version of
yeah, but
the
that
digital.
his name was.
Oh,
Clue,
that's right.
though.
It was Clue. Yes,
It was
you're right.
Clue.
I keep thinking who was the dude that was
Yeah.
Tron. That was the other guy.
Right.
But yeah, no, like he wanted to go, and they do get out. So I mean, there has to be some connection there because
Mhm.
ultimately they get out.
Well, like I said, like at the end of Tron Legacy, he had that necklace or whatever around
Yes.
him that had basically like the grid
Everything,
on,
yeah.
so like, and I wonder if this movie's gonna be a little bit meta too, with like how real life everything's like
True.
VR and stuff like. So it'll be interesting. Like, I want it to be good. I want it to come correct.
Telling you, man, they're gonna retcon his son and everything.
I'm worried. I'm worried about a lot of stuff. Like I just, it's a good story. Like not every like I love Tron Legacy a lot.
Yeah.
Like I like the thought process of it. It was kind of a breezy movie, but it was a great movie.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Tron Legacy's rad. And dude, I don't know when you see the trailer for Tron Ares, you get Nine Inch Nails. Like they're doing the music for the trailer, and it sounds really good.
Okay,
like the bit that you see looked really good.
Okay.
So I mean, that was an awesome trailer. Now because that trailer dropped today, and based on the fact that earlier in the week, because CinemaCon was going on all this week, so you had all the publishers, you had Warner Brothers, Disney, you had everybody there showing trailers for movies that were coming out this year and next year. And when Warner Brothers showed theirs, about 24, 48 hours later, they started releasing the trailers to the public. So they're dropping on YouTube. So this morning, Tron Ares dropped on YouTube, and that Disney's was like 24 hours, 48 hours ago. So I'm hoping at some point today we're going to see that Predator Badlands trailer that people were talking about, because like we saw some clips from the interview with Ella Fanning that was there, and she's talking about how the movie is changing the way you're going to think about the Predator. It's going to have this thing where she just mentioned, she couldn't get into too much, but she said, I'm teaming up with the Predator in this movie. So it's, and then someone at the CinemaCon talked about the trailer and said basically what it looks like is this Predator gets kicked out.
I was wondering.
Gets kicked out of his tribe or whatever, and he ends up on this planet. And Ella Fanning tells this in this one of these scenes that she goes, "You're trying to kill something that can't be killed." So she's working with the Predator. So in a way, this almost kind of sounds like a T2 for the Predator series, where now the Terminator's not the bad guy.
Right.
The Predator's kind of the protagonist this time around.
Even though the movies are terrible, that's kind of how AVP ended up being.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, they're not terrible. Requiem,
they're awful.
Requiem was terrible. Come on, oh my gosh, when's Zilla in the house? Woo!
What up?
You said woo.
What up, Zilla?
Yeah. Why? What didn't you like about AVP again? I agree with 100%. Requiem was trash. But I mean, what was the issue with AVP?
The aliens that existed hundreds of years after present time now all of a sudden existed in prehistoric Earth, and
the base is big, bro.
Yeah, and like he's cracking pieces of the xenomorph open, and it's not hurting his skin, the acid or anything. And then the human girl's like, "Oh, thanks for giving me the skull that still got acid in it. And I can put my hand in it."
Well, he didn't. When he broke the thing, it didn't spill out. I mean, he broke the arm
because it wouldn't, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you're
dumb. The movie's awful.
Thank you. Wenzel said AVP is great.
Oh yeah, because humans fighting with fight predators and other aliens, just like little pokies and stuff. Like, here you go.
I'm just saying, man. I thought it was cool, man.
She definitely wasn't a soldier. Not that I guess Ripley technically was. She was just a strong lead.
Yeah.
Either way.
I mean, it had its flaws, but it was. Oh gosh, man, that's ruthless.
They had plenty of content they could have used from the comics years ago, and they certainly didn't.
Tone just getting in his own way of happiness. Critical is no fun. Yeah, come on, dude, lighten up.
Who's that saying? Zilla?
Wenzilla.
Yeah, he's just running his mouth.
I think he's just trying to trigger you, and I dig it. So anytime he says anything, I'm going to read it off immediately.
Right. Yeah, he won't have tires on his truck tomorrow, so it's fine.
So yeah, there are several trailers that I'm hoping that we'll see drop here today. There was another one. Warner Brothers had, what was the other? Oh, Jurassic Park. We're waiting to see the new trailer for Jurassic Rebirth.
Well, there's been some, I thought, positive buzz too around that.
There was a lot of Scarlett Johansson said in an interview that they're really leaning into horror this time around.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I mean, the books technically for me, like the books are kind of horror.
There's a big scene that they show in this trailer, or they hint at. I don't know if it's a whole scene or maybe it was just a scene that they showed at CinemaCon that was actually in the first book that never made it into the movie.
Yeah.
The raft scene,
pretty exciting. Well, they added part of that into like either the second or third. There's a river scene in the book that's pretty like crazy.
Yes.
And some of that
I think it was in the third one when they tried
added
adding
elements of that
Yes.
in there, but there's a specific thing that happens
Yes.
that they finally, it's going to be a little hard for people to deal with, but
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
exciting either way. So
Yeah. So I mean, there's been, like I said, a lot of trailers are going to be coming out here in the next couple days. The other one was Fantastic Four. I guess there was a good trailer for that as well that dropped.
Okay, which is weird because they just dropped one not long ago.
Yeah, and what was it I read that this is a standalone Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
There are no other superheroes in this movie.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. But they are going to be a part of Doomsday.
Right. I think it's good because again, there a lot of people's banking on like, okay, MCU finally has Fantastic Four. Everything's got to be done right. Like, I think it's good. You don't want to mix and convolute a lot
Right.
too, but also it's a timepiece. Like it takes place in like the 60s.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense too,
Yeah, because
So
they're kind of before,
right,
all that. But
first family stuff. So it makes sense and that's cool. I'm down with that. And then of course we got that Superman one.
Superman trailer, a lot of weird negativity around that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Like, listen, Superman's not something I am overly care a lot about. I actually liked Man of Steel. I like that version of Superman because he felt a little bit grounded. But so seeing this and I like the color palette. Seeing this trailer, I was like, oh, this looks really entertaining. Like I'm into this. Like okay, I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
And then I realized that apparently I'm not. Or I'm somebody who like. One of the rare or something because like online right now there's a lot of negative buzz, right?
Yeah, I didn't really understand the criticism that it was that people were leveling against it. It just like I thought it was a good trailer, and it felt very Superman to me. But again, I am not a DC comic guy. I don't know the deep lore of what people expect of it. But I mean, I'm based off Christopher Reeves. That's my Superman. That's my
right.
That's how I know Superman. And when I saw this trailer, I was like, I get those vibes.
Yeah.
It's got a little camp to it. It's probably going to have some humor throughout it. But I mean, as long as Superman's badass and and you understand the caring side of Superman, then I'm fine with that.
Yeah. I don't know. What is the negative stuff people are saying? Do you even know?
Dude, it's something to do with how Superman is being portrayed.
Oh.
And so I don't know if they want him to be like just some.
Like, is it because like he's shown kind of like because what all this shown in the trailer is him not really being beat up.
Vulnerable. He looks vulnerable.
Right.
He doesn't look like the Man of Steel.
Well, one of my biggest problems with Superman has always been like he's not relatable because he's a super strong alien enhanced by the Earth's golden sun. So like that's hard for me to relate to as a character. So like if you want to relate with somebody, vulnerability is a big way to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And see, I always feel like the way that the audience can connect to Superman, and it was in the Christopher Reeves, is you get time with his dad. Like you get that relationship building, and you see the dad struggling with stuff, and it looks like they're gonna kind of touch on that in this based on the trailer.
Sure.
So I mean, that's kind of like our gateway to understanding Superman and humanizing him a little bit, just by having that relationship with his father, or well, not his true father, but. So I mean, there's a lot of things that they could explore in this, and again, I watched the trailer, and I'm just like, I'm kind of excited for this.
Yeah, well, I think it's nice too. Like, it's not like another full origin rehash. Like, we don't got to go through all that again.
Right.
Like sometimes it's good to kind of just move that needle forward and not worry about all that.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't like we're gonna get a whole lot of Krypton. Like we're not gonna get a lot of that.
I think they're gonna establish that everybody just kind of knows some of these things.
Yeah, we know where it's from.
Right. Let's just move forward with. Telling a Superman story or whatever. So, hey, listen, James Gunn has, whether you do or don't like Guardians and things of that nature, like it's entertaining, it's good comedy, good levity, good music, so I think, we'll see what he does here and, kind of just trust in the process.
Yeah. Wenzilla says, I kind of wish the CW shows would have done less of a crossover standalone.
Less of a crossover standalone?
Done less of crossover standalone.
I don't know. You have to elaborate because I always felt like the CW shows, like I think a lot of the casting was good and some of the, like especially Barry Allen, The Flash, like Green Arrow started great for the first few seasons and then it turned into like CW drama for me, which I get it. You're on CW. So, but like the early onset, like especially for some of the Flashes, like I really enjoyed those too. And then they kind of fell into that, like after a few seasons started being really heavy CW drama. Like, oh, there's love issues again and tearing us apart and there's maybe a love triangle, whatever it is. But I think the casting for some of the characters are good. I actually wish they would cross them over more, but I mean, all that stuff doesn't matter anymore. It's all clean slate.
Jay Hill says, I'm just worried there are way too many characters in this one. Seem like a lot to get any depth with them.
Yeah, so
I do notice that there's a lot. Superman has a lot of like villains that he's fighting and that
Right,
and
and there's a lot of people in Superman. Like when you think about between Reeves, between what's his name, Brandon something.
oh, Brandon Ruth.
Yep. Who I think he gets a bad rap.
I didn't hate that
yeah,
movie.
I think there's a bad rap there. But again, this is coming from somebody who's not really a Superman guy. Anyway,
Sure.
So, but and then through Henry Cavill, we've gotten Zod 2 different iterations.
Yeah.
We've seen some like a terrible Doomsday. We've seen some, like, so they've never really fully explored extra versions of his villain pantheon. So like, you know, if we're starting from scratch and we're assuming that the people that they're really trying to like cater to are more knowledgeable fans in some way, like, do we need all that? No, we don't. I don't. I think we got to look at this as a different starting point. It's not like, you know, where BVS and the way that they were trying to do with those Nolan ones, they wanted to replicate the MCU because the MCU was successful.
Right.
They tried to pack 10 years into 2 years, and that was convoluted.
Yeah.
You know, but the way they were telling the story, if you do the storytelling where you're not worried about all this stuff and you're just bringing in these characters that people know, recognize, and want to see,
Right.
but the story's good, I think that's going to be the more important thing. You want to hook people to say, okay, I want to see what's coming next.
Right.
You know? So I think that's a fair point, but I also think it's time we got to try something different.
Yeah. God, you mentioned the Zods, like, and I can't remember the actor's name who portrayed him in Superman 2. Good actor. I mean, he's a good actor, but man, like you look at the Man of Steel, you get Michael Shannon, who I think is an incredible actor. I think he's got incredible range, but I feel like I wish Zod, in my mind, would be the character that was written into with a performer like Michael Shannon.
Right.
You know, because like the Zod and Man of Steel, I just was just like, this guy yells a lot. You know, that was basically the gist of what I got from Michael Shannon with the material that he was given.
Yeah.
Whereas I wish they would have got more of the story from Superman 2 with somebody like Michael Shannon. That would have been like the perfect iteration of Zod, or closest thing to it. But you know, it's what about who was the bad guy in 4? Is it Nuclear Man?
I don't, dude. Yeah,
Superman 4 was it Nuclear Man?
yeah, Nuclear Man. Yeah.
Superman, was that what it was? Yeah. Just an absolute. I've watched that movie a couple times, and every time I watch, I'm just like, why did this get made?
Yeah. I don't know if I've even seen that,
dude.
It's
cringe.
I'm pretty sure I just seen 2 and 3 because 3 is the
3's the one with Richard Pryor. That was actually, dude, like, I love Richard Pryor, but that one was heavily criticized.
Yeah,
because they went way too much into the comedy side of things. Like that's where I feel like that era of Superman felt like what happened to Bond. Like we just kind of moved into the campy side of things. It's just like, I feel like we're getting away from what makes Superman so cool. No, it's like I hope it's good. Like I thought it was a good trailer. Like I'm excited to see it. And like you said, with James Gunn in charge, he has a vision. He has an understanding of what he wants to do. And I think there is some comparison between the Guardians of the Galaxies and the tone of that movie and what I expect from a Superman movie.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll see how it works out.
First time I'm actually interested in Superman in a long time again. So I mean that's something. So
that's true. That's
even
true.
after like Man of Steel, like I can't stand. I've never even seen. I think I've seen BVS one time, and even like wasn't there a special cut of the Justice?
Oh yeah, the Snyder cut.
Whatever it was, yeah. I think that helps some, but like even all of that, the CG always looks terrible in those movies.
That's always been my issue with all the DC movies. They lean so much in the CGI.
Yeah,
it's
that
like,
modern like Nolan era, like it just looks so like cheap.
It's not good. Oh, Wenzel said, like the super crossover towards the end of the season, make their powers seem not that powerful at times. Be interesting.
Yeah, I think that's fair too.
That's why I wish he was here to kind of like really, you know, dive into what he's
Well,
trying
I
to
invited him many times to come and sign up and play some D&D this weekend and do something and get him out of the house, but you know,
he's not here.
He's not here.
That's really disappointing.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of
there he is.
Are those his true colors? Is that who he is?
You know, I'm just gonna call him out for it, regardless.
All right, dude. I'm gonna tell you right now, I am starving. Yeah. And I already ripped this open and with the intention of I was serious about ready to eat it.
Okay, so I haven't tried this yet. You haven't tried this yet. Drasten gave us one of these. I've been wanting to try them, but it's the Reese's peanut butter and jelly.
Yes, Reese's PB&J strawberry preservatives.
Strawberry preservatives. Now, if you like grape or straw, I like both. I prefer strawberry. But chocolate everywhere.
Yeah, dude. Like when I seen this, I was just like, this is ridiculous.
I'm blowing my mouth.
Okay. Yeah. No, that works. Not like it's not way too much jelly. It's just enough jam in there
Mm-hmm.
where you can taste it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
delish.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't go wrong with peanut butter anywhere.
I mean, it's a Reese's. So, I mean,
Reese's
it's
is
already
my
good.
yeah. Reese's is one of my favorites. I tried. You haven't tried the peanut butter and jelly M&Ms? Highly recommend those. I might like those still a little
Peanut
bit
butter
better.
and jelly M&Ms?
Yeah, because there's more jelly involved.
I never even had them.
They
They're
are
good.
unbelievable. They're very unbelievable. Yeah, I think we bought a bag of them and I had to go buy a second one right away because we just went through them so fast.
I've done that before.
Yeah. So, but I think maybe it's time we maybe bring somebody on, have a conversation, see what's going on.
Yes.
I know Steve's kind of busy. He's also kind of working the shop a little bit, and they've got breaks and things of that nature. So if I can pull him, we'll see right now. I know he was also going to get some lunch. If not, we can always get Josh on here too.
Yeah. I know you and Josh want to talk about something.
We have something we definitely want to talk about. So
I'm going to have to step away for that conversation because, like always, I'm behind on Daredevil.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be any spoiler talk, but they'll just kind of talk a little bit about where we're at so far in the season.
Mm-hmm.
There are I've seen some stuff pop up on social media where people are a little critical of, because I guess there was a heavy abundance of reshoots in the show, and I feel like, or I don't feel like it, but I've read that some people feel like that's starting to show a little bit in these last couple episodes.
Yeah, maybe. I don't see it so much. I think that I'm really enjoying the story, and I think probably one of the things we'll talk about when Josh gets on here is like comparison to the Netflix series, because now it is all continuity.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I don't know what it is with Disney, but like they always get in this thing where they always something that comes up and they want to do reshoots, and I think there's this vision that they may have, but the problem is, it sounds like the original series that was going on, they had to scrap that. Even Charlie Cox said.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's good that they've got everything going on here, because it wasn't going to be continuity originally, all this other stuff, like to the old ones. So now that it is, the parent still reshoots in this or this, that, and the other. But like when they do these reshoots, I don't think Disney realizes that people can see that.
Oh, they can pick up on it, yeah.
And it almost like takes you away from it. Like, yeah, so you have this vision of how you want something or whatever it was, or maybe a change, but like it almost makes it worse sometimes.
Oh, if you have an abundance of reshoots, I mean that messes up a lot of things. That messes up editing. I mean, it's really difficult sometimes when you do a reshoot, and if something isn't done right or exactly where it's supposed to be, even the most casual moviegoer can be like, well, I don't remember that person being in this scene. Like, what are they?
Right.
It's little things like that can get lost in reshoots, because typically reshoots are time crunch. You got to get it done before a certain amount of time, and it can really. I mean, I've seen some movies, man, where like a reshoot is so obvious. You're just like, why is this scene even here?
Right.
Or what? I mean, it can really mess things up, continuity speaking, and editing, putting a movie together.
Yeah.
So
gotta be careful.
Again, I don't know too much about the reshoots for Daredevil, and I haven't gotten far enough to like kind of like get a feel for whether or not something feels out of place or anything like that. But
yeah, you saw the intro, I think.
I did see the intro, yeah, or the first episode. Or wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, no, it's you just watch the intro and stop watching.
Shut up!
So basically,
shut up.
One episode.
No. But no, well, yeah, you guys are talking about that. Before we go though, I want to know why you're excited about this.
Yeah, so this is a, of course, Koi's does, buy, trade, resell, that sort of thing when it comes to, all kinds of toys and stuff like that, which is my main jam. This is a retro piece. I owned this as a kid. I didn't have a lot of G.I. Joe. I had some G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe was a blip. There was some things I loved. Just didn't really stick with like some of the other stuff I was into. But I had this tank. I don't recall of it for sure. What I loved about this is that these little discs here would shoot. So you'd flip it and they would shoot out. So you put out these landmines. There's all kinds of like fireable like weapons on it too. And then the cool part was this here was a little hover ship, so like a little plane, and it would also, you'd flip this back and have some missiles you could fire off as well too. It came, I think there was a pilot that did come with this specifically, but yeah, man, this was one of my favorite toys, and it's been sitting over here for a little while now, and I always look at it because I'm like, man, that's so nostalgic. I wish I'd have kept it, because I didn't keep a lot of my toys from a childhood, unfortunately. I had got all my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was it, but that was also the one I had probably the most of. So just kind of seeing this was pretty neat.
So I have a question for you. Now that you're
Yeah,
kind of into this,
Yeah.
into the figures and stuff like this, when
Yeah.
you see something like this, obviously it's an age thing. It's been
Yeah.
around for a long time.
Right.
Is this something that you would ever go at a little bit and maybe touch up, or you just leave as is?
If it's Star Wars, yes. And
Okay.
that's as I'm looking at some of the things over here that I've been eyeballing for a while. Yeah, like I would, or like maybe add it to the world build,
Mhm.
whatever it might be, or just want it for my collection. So it's more. I keep more in my lane in that.
Yeah.
GI Joe. Well, if this had all the pieces and it was like, a little bit. I mean, really, it's actually not in bad shape. But
Yeah.
like, if it had like all the missiles, I would probably still debate it, or like the pilot with it.
Yeah.
I may debate it, because I loved this. This was one of my favorite GI Joe toys because I mean, it's everything I like in things. It doesn't look conventional for a tank, and it's got a plane on it. You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah.
That's exactly.
But I mean, if you saw like scuff marks and scratches, would you touch? I mean, you touch
you could,
that
yeah,
stuff up,
yeah, or add to it, or do what like Guy Zillow always say. Give it a wash of some sort.
yeah.
Make it look aged, or he does really good weathering on everything, anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could certainly do something like that. It's definitely like when I see these, I always think and debate about it. But if if it's something that you can touch up or play around with,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's like I said, I just got an A-wing last weekend. That's the plan. I'm gonna repaint it and give it kind of a new look and do something different with it and just add it to my lore that I'm creating. Yeah.
Let me see here. We got some stuff in there. Get the B-wing already, Tone.
So I'm looking at it
It's
right now.
over
Shut
there.
up.
Every time I talk, I see him looking over. He's
I am.
having
I'm
a
eyeballing
conversation.
it all the time.
He's eye-bucking it.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. Jay Hill says, "What's the schedule for today?" We don't really have a schedule, Jay Hill. We're gonna go live for a little bit. There's a panel at 4:30.
4:30, yeah, a little Q&A conversation piece.
That's
for
in
some
about
D&D
45
stuff.
minutes. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to get that live as well, where Tone and Drasten are going to take some questions or kind of give like what's the word I'm looking for?
Pointers, or just talk D&D in general, like if you want to start your own campaign or what it looks like to do some one-shots, that sort of thing.
Yep. So a little D&D panel, and then later on this evening, we're doing a one-shot session with Tone, Britt, Drasten, Jeremy. Josh, Steve, and Brandi. So we're gonna do a one-shot session with them, and we're gonna try to get that set up on stream as well for live. So you can see how Drasten does one of these sessions, and we're all going to be playing it. So should be pretty awesome.
Chaotic.
There'll be some booze involved as well. So it'll really get chaotic. It'll probably get a little unpredictable, which is what we like to do. That's how we like to roll here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's pretty much the plan for today. Blanco, wait, so I'm going to be raiding arcs alone. What is this arc thing that they're all talking about? What is
He's
this?
arc hunting today.
What is arc hunting?
You remember Defiance?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the third iteration of Defiance getting the LP or the license sold to somebody. So they're PCing it up again. They're bringing it back out because like there's a small handful of us that were very devout Defiance.
That was the one with the show, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And for all intents and purposes, the gameplay and the quest setup in that game, brilliant.
Yeah.
Like the weapons, everything. It's third person.
Yeah.
Like I remember I was doing basically a rogue class with a shotgun, and I can go invisible. Oof. And it was so I'd stealth up in people and then just like shotgun them in the back or whatever, and it was gnarly.
Wasn't it on last gen consoles at one
point?
They
did it again last gen for a blip, but what made me mad is that it was just an HD version of the original. They still didn't put out new content. They didn't like adapt the content. It was just doing it again, and they're kind of doing it again. So like, I want to play it, but I played
a Defiance, but I can't remember if it was on PS3 or PS4.
Well, it was 360 era originally, and then it came out on the PS4 era as well too. So you probably did.
I did play that. Yeah, I just remember it was tied to a show at one point.
There was a sci-fi TV series. I think it got canceled after 2.
It did. Yeah, I remember it got canceled, and they were kind of like, oh, well, that kind of sucks.
And they were supposed to cross over more with the game better, and they didn't come through on that. There was a lot of empty promises on that. But again, like even like the instance quest, like because it had great like if there's 20 of you and there was an arc fall, there would be like a random like world event. You go do it, you get a bunch of stuff, and blah blah blah. And it was all great. You were riding around on quads and cars and motorcycles, and it's awesome. So that's what he's doing.
So is this new one coming to consoles, or is it PC only?
Right now, PC. I don't know. I think their plan would be if it's popular enough, but I don't know if it will. It'll probably be done in 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's dude. That's the way the industry is now, man.
It's just tough, man, to keep that stuff. And like for me, like if you're gonna hook me, I gotta know that there's a game plan for longevity. I want like updated content, new content, and I just don't know if there's going to be that because like then I've already played this once or twice.
You know, I
kinda
always
thing,
feel
too.
like it's the online streamers that kill these games because like they can play it nonstop.
Yeah.
And then the minute they're like, "Oh, there's nothing to do," that spreads
Yeah.
to everybody, and anybody that's like, "Well, there's not a lot to do, so I'm not
Yeah,
going to get
that-
into it."
I think
Whereas
that's part of it.
myself, I don't have 9 hours a day to dive into a live service game and milk it for all it's worth in
Right.
in a week.
It's tough. It's tough.
And it's
So,
a bummer
we'll see.
when stuff get screwed like that. So.
Yeah.
Jay Hill says, I loved the show. He loved Defiance.
Yeah, I did too.
And then it just ended. I hate getting into shows and they get canceled with no
You
resolution.
really got to be careful with people like sci-fi because you never know.
Yeah, you can lose an audience pretty quick, or
Yeah.
they don't get the audience they need to
Yeah.
keep it sustained. So
The game, I wish there was more behind it because, like I said, I feel like the base they have there is an incredible gameplay game. The game,
Yeah.
like everything, because as somebody who loves third-person shooters,
yeah,
like it's an incredible as an MMO even too. Like it's well done well, but it just needs either some form of longevity, some DLC, or just more. Something.
Right.
So
right.
we'll see.
Yeah.
But anyways.
No, I get it, man. It's just it's hard in this industry right now to find games that just. I mean, we've already had I think 3 or 4 games canceled this year that have been out for less than a year.
Yeah.
And if you don't have an audience, and if it doesn't, attract a big enough audience, to hell with the vision, they gotta shut it down.
I think we're coming around to a point where like there's just so much live service out there. It's a dime a dozen, and you got to have something that's going to be longevity, really unique, something that hooks people because otherwise you're just the same as anybody else down the road.
Yeah.
So, I think that's also why we're seeing these single player stuff start to come back around, or not single player necessarily, but good games like Split Fiction and some of these other big titles that are starting to kind of finally come through because
Avowed. Things of those nature, yeah.
it's time that we kind of find these kind of games. Like we all want to play like some form of live service game. They're great. Like if you play like even like WoW right now, I'm taking a break on, but I played hard for a few months. But I can go back to that anytime. WoW's always going to be around there because it does it well.
Yeah, they do a really really good job. They're established, like Destiny. They're established, and
it's hard to get to that level.
Yeah.
So.
And the thing is, like, you have to hit that level like right out the gates. That's what makes it difficult. There's no build up anymore.
Right.
There's no like, oh, give it time. Remember, we used to say after 6 months and a year, this game's gonna be completely different because of the change. Now it's just like 6 months, you're dead.
Yeah, and I think it's also a part of the industry, right? Like you were in a time, and it really amped up through the 360 eras when it really kicked into high gear. I mean, it's always been like games come out constantly, but like that Wii 360 PS3 era changed gaming because it became so Hollywood. And now every 3 weeks you got something big you want to play that's a $60 game, $70 game you got to buy. So now like, and that's why I have a hard time like really sticking into some of the gaming stuff because you gotta, if you want to be a real gamer, you gotta jump around constantly, week by week by week. Please, I ain't got time for that.
Yeah, nobody does.
So I gotta pick and choose a little bit where I'm spending my time because hey, by the way, I still want to make content. So
yeah.
it's difficult. So it's got to be something big that's going to draw and attract me, and it's tough to. Now I will say there's some games this year that Doom coming out soon. That is something on my radar. That RPG that's coming out.
This month, Expedition 33.
Expedition 33. You know what I mean? And I've been playing Avowed and having a good time. So this year has some potential for that for me for the first time in a while. But I'm like, even with Avowed, I haven't played it in like a week and a half. So, you know what I mean? So it is what it is.
It's really difficult. And one more thing about games, I just want to tell people right now: if you have Game Pass, and if you haven't played Atomfall, you're missing out. Atomfall is one of the most like unique games I've played in a while. I didn't expect to get hooked the way I did. Like I stayed up late for a couple nights just playing it because it's one of those games, dude, where it's a mixture of BioShock and Fallout.
Oh wow.
But in a way where
the
best parts of Fallout, meaning there's an interesting world to explore.
Yeah.
But there is no cutscenes. There's no, here's what happened. All you do is wake up in a bunker. And there's a scientist there that says, you need to get out of here. You need to get out of here. Go to this person. They'll help you get out of here. And then the scientist dies. But then you go out into the world, dude. There's no quest markers.
Wow.
There's NPCs everywhere, here and there. And you just go up and talk to them, and they'll tell you, I think there's somebody over here who can help you. and they'll mark it on your map like this is a lead for you to investigate.
Oh wow.
And then so you go to that area, and then dude, it's crazy.
Okay.
Like interesting, like
Okay.
really, really interesting. And it's from Rebellion and the people that do Sniper Elite.
Yeah.
But it's so different that it kind of reminds me of when Guerrilla went from Killzone,
Oh, for
and then you
Horizon.
had that switch to Horizon. Everyone's like, well, that's kind of a big swerve.
Yeah.
You know, they've been doing Killzone the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's, dude, coming from the Sniper Elite guys, for them to create something like this,
Yeah.
like
okay.
crazy.
That's huge.
Crazy.
That's
Like
huge. Yeah.
awesome story, incredible story. Like you'll love it. Like it is kind of got Carpenter vibes too,
Okay.
through the way that the story is told and the type of story that it is. Wild.
Okay.
Like it is
Okay.
it's a wild game, man. Like I'm really digging it. Blanco asked, did you guys see the Tron Ares trailer? Yes, we did.
No, I haven't.
He has not.
I haven't had time today.
Maybe he'll watch it when we take a break here real
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
He can get caught up on it. But we're gonna take a quick break.
Mhm.
We're gonna see if we can get Josh up here
Mm-hmm.
and have you guys talk about Daredevil.
Okay.
And then after that, we'll get Steve on.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably wrap so we can get set for the panel in about 47 minutes.
Sounds good.
So we'll be back in just a few moments. Stick around. We're going to have Josh and Tone talk a little bit about Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler free. And then we have some other stuff going on.
Yeah, right on.
We'll be back in a few.
He's not ready. He's not ready.
No, I'm just-
Welcome back. We are back at Koi's Comics here, banter and babble, and we found somebody who is a little bit more attractive than the other guy that was here, probably.
I try.
But as you see, we got Josh from Half-Ass Beer Reviews sitting with us as well, getting all his D-roll footage today.
B-roll,
Lots of D,
B-roll,
D.
D-roll.
definitely D. Getting a lot of D today. So, but I want to sit down and chat with you because unlike the other guy that sits here,
Yes.
we have been caught up to Daredevil right now. It's been going on
Oh.
Disney Plus,
Yes, we have.
and to the point where like after every episode, like I think we all just kind of go, "Wow, that was pretty
Yeah,
awesome."
Definitely.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So, initially for you, even far back as like the first one where we're at now, like what are your feelings overall? Before and I want to get to a point where we do compare it to the Netflix series.
Okay. Oh, dang.
But like
okay.
right now, how do you feel it as a show? Let's say standalone.
I love it.
Yeah.
I feel like I love Lamb. You know, like it's just like
Right,
where
right,
I'm
right.
at with it. Like it's just everything. I love everything about it. Like I think after the end of every episode, I go, "Is this my favorite piece of Marvel content that's going on right now? Like ever?"
Okay. Wow.
That's just like and I didn't even need certain things that you'd expect from it.
Sure.
It's just a very well written show, very well shot. It keeps you interested in the entire time. There's
Mhm.
never a moment where I'm like, "Oh, what's on my phone?" You know, it's just like,
Yeah.
I set everything down. I'm like, this is my focus for what's going on.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
I think it's, yeah, like I said, every single time. Like,
Okay.
this might be my favorite thing Marvel's ever done.
Jesus, that's pretty crazy. And you're talking like MCU everything right now as
Yeah.
far as live action goes like
yeah,
that. Okay.
I am. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if I could say that. I guess I can honestly see that being a perspective
Yeah.
or a feeling because it is done really well. I think my only complaint for me, because I love this show. Like I feel the same way. Like
Yeah.
after every episode, I'm like, man, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Next episode, man, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like so good. I think part of it for me is just a little bit of the difference between, and this is where I do want to kind of talk about the Netflix as well. As a standalone, it's
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it,
Yeah.
but I think it is worth talking about Netflix version of that versus this. I'm glad for one that they are connected.
Yeah.
I think that was more important than a complete reboot and act like they didn't exist. Like
Yeah.
I know Disney gets in their feels when they didn't own something originally or have a hand in it. It just, as you got to think from a viewer's perspective.
Right.
Now, if it's terrible, I understand. Cut loose and
Oh,
don't
yeah.
deal with it.
Yeah.
But the Netflix series and all those, even Defenders, and for the most intents and purposes, they're great. I'm a big fan of honestly all of them except for kind of Iron Fist. But this series has like this. Sometimes when they go into the CG or certain things, it just looks a little off.
Okay.
Whereas
Right.
Netflix series didn't have to lean into that. Now I get it when it comes to Daredevil. They're finally showcasing the way he can like travel, which
Yeah.
is swinging around with the batons and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Like, and they've got the wires and stuff like that,
Right.
which is great.
Yeah.
I think that's important because
Okay.
it's a huge Daredevil staple.
Yeah.
But even that first fight scene in the first episode, a lot of it was hazy. It was like dark, so I
Yeah.
felt like some of the it felt a little like something was CG covering something. I don't know what. Whereas you look at the
Right.
the
I gotcha.
fight scene in
Yeah.
the original series,
Yeah.
like in what
The
episode 2 or
hallway,
3,
Yeah.
the hallway. It's like one continuous shot, and it felt like it was really happening. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's missing a little bit of that. that more like groundedness, and like I always felt like the Netflix series was like very clear. Like almost parts of this is overproduced. If that
Okay,
makes sense.
I gotcha. I understand.
Like I feel like the Netflix series was very crisp.
Yeah, I gotcha.
You know, so I think that's really my only biggest complaints. I know some folks out there feel like this story is a little bit slow burn.
Mm-hmm.
That's always like a hard thing for me to like understand in a conversation.
Right.
But I don't know. Do you feel like it's a slow burn right now?
Do
Do you think it's slow? I don't feel that, but some
I
people
mean,
do.
it sort of is, but at the same time, it's carrying along very well.
Yeah.
Like I don't think like I think overall we're slow, but we're getting so much every time.
Right.
It hasn't bothered me at all.
Right.
Like if I don't think it's slow.
No, I don't really either.
I think people wanted Daredevil immediately.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think that's just what the issue is, and it was more than just that.
It was
like,
a lot of Matt Murdock,
which has been fantastic.
I thought so too. That's why I'm surprised by it.
A lot of the dialogues, a lot of the monologue, like it's just been fantastic.
We're seeing a character deal with a lot of emotional things.
Yeah.
And starting from one point kind of low to
Yeah.
another point, it's real tough. And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, the first episode had quite a shock, so you had to kind of deal with a lot of that. But
Yeah.
What has been like a standout piece for you, or maybe a standout character, something like that?
Not necessarily. I don't think character, but I think the way, again, I'll bring it back to the way it's shot or the way it rolls is so. I forgot what episode it was, but you left Matt and Fisk, right?
I think it was like episode 2 or something.
Yeah, it might have been
even.
two or
Yeah.
2 or 3, but so that's you're leaving and it wasn't them together. I'm saying it's like you got a scene of Mayor Fisk, and maybe like the people he works with, and then you got Murdoch and his girlfriend maybe.
Yeah.
And so then all of a sudden it cuts to like a street view, and I think they might use BB for it, like the reporter, the kind of thing like that. And then you come back, and it's Daredevil and it's Kingpin. And it's just a very cool and everything, like they use that street shot stuff to change like the tone, and it rolls right into it, and everything about it's still, you still seeing the same people, but like the vibe, like the tone of like what you're seeing, all of it's them being pulled back into this thing that, you know what I mean? It's very eerie, and like I love the way they
I know
do
you're
it.
talking about. Yeah, it is done really well. I think, and one of my favorite words right now is been duality. But the series is really big on a lot of that. It's almost like you're seeing contrast to each other, but also at the same time, like a lot of similarities.
Right.
So there's a lot of like interesting ways that they're either shooting scenes to like showcase that, or the way they're telling the story.
Definitely.
To show that like both of them are two different persons half the time, but they also like they don't get along clearly because they have different ideals.
Yeah.
And yet at the same time, a lot of what they're grounded in is similar.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's very interesting to tell a story like that. And I think it's hard. And I think that's why it's important that sometimes it's kind of a slow burn, because you kind of need that for those sort of things.
And I think what they do really well, they're so intertwined as pro and antagonist, right? Like they're just like, and a lot of, I think this is where a lot of like movies and stuff like that fail, is because they don't get that like that twist of people. Like you saw it with Ledger and in Batman in like the Dark Knight run. Yeah. Like with that, just, you know what I mean? And they even talk about it and stuff like that. And it's a shame we didn't get more of that. But like this, Fisk Murdoch, just entwinement of everything depends on each other almost. You know what I mean? I'm just like, this is insane. And it just and even after the last episode, it gets even deeper, because just the information that's revealed to one, it's just like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? It's like, I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Usually Tuesday nights at 9. I
Yeah.
try if I'm doing something, I try to speed through it or like cut off completely at that point, because I'm ready to watch the next episode. I think one of my and I want to just point this out because I had to say it, because this last episode, of course, was awesome. And there's as a big Sopranos guy, Michael Gandolfini is playing a character in this. The son of James Gandolfini, aka Tony Soprano.
Yeah,
he has a scene in this last episode And he was in the Mini Saints of Newark, playing a younger version of his father, and
Yep.
that was great too. He did a great job. Like you get a lot of vibes from his father.
Yep.
And in this scene where he's having a conversation, I think with BB, right?
Yep. Oh yeah.
And I was like, the way he was talking to her, I was like, oh my God. I was
Yeah.
looking at Britt. I'm like, oh my God. She doesn't get the reference, but I'm like, he is channeling
Yeah.
his father here too.
Right.
Because even the way he's speaking and almost like this positive, like it's like you're talking like this, like, right? You're like, your
Yeah.
tone is this a certain way or whatever it is, like almost half positive. But if you read between the lines,
Yes.
it's completely nefarious. And I was like, that's Tony
Right.
Soprano right
Yeah.
there. He was
Yeah.
full on. And
Yeah.
I was like, that was awesome.
Yeah. I didn't want to say anything 'cause I knew you really been enjoying him.
Yeah.
And I said something in the group chat the other day about how like every time he's on screen, you just want to like punch him.
Yeah.
Like, but they've been developing this character
Mhm.
very well.
Yeah.
Just kind of periodically.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't even been getting as much screen time as a lot of the other people.
Right.
But when he does, there's a lot of development, and you
Mhm.
just see all this growth in his character, and you just learn so much about him.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times he's not even like saying anything super important, but it's like between the lines.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's great.
Which
Yeah.
was very like kind of like, again, when you're a
Yeah.
knockaround guy, like when you're watching like like if you ever watch Sopranos, like you
Right.
you kind of see it,
Yeah.
and know, because it's just a way that character is written. So it's got some activity in the chat.
Yeah,
and
Tone
and
was freaking out. LOL.
yeah, I
Brittany.
was. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was.
yeah.
I was freaking out. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
That's
that
good
was-
to see that stuff.
There was a few things in that last episode. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, and I've been repeating every episode. Like I'll go back and I'll
you're
watch it
that
again.
serious? I guess
Oh,
that
yeah.
makes sense if you're such a big fan so
Yeah,
far. Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of it. 'Cause I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I'll watch it that day, and the next day I'm like, I'll get home from work and be like, time for the second viewing.
Yeah, and I think and that's great for one, and
Yeah.
I think there's like something to be said about why, and I think it's because, whether this is or isn't as good or whatever we feel like or what people feel like compared to the Netflix series, which
Right.
for all intents and purposes was incredible.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This the Matt Murdock is a very relatable character.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways. He's
Yep.
definitely flawed. He's very vulnerable.
Yep.
He does the best he can. It's just that, he's one of these guys that just can't give up, and he gets back up every time.
Yeah.
And, you always love the callbacks to his father and those Murdoch boys, or
Yep.
got the devil in them, or
Yep.
they, because his dad was a boxer, like,
Yeah.
boxers, that's the kind of thing. Like, you get knocked out or even in a TKO, you're still going to back up at some point,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So it's so much of these conversations or these things that he goes through right now. Like, this character has gone through so much already in this series.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna find a piece of you in them,
Right.
and I think that's why these Netflix series or these ground level characters do so well, because A, it's a series, so you can
Yeah.
pull out more than just 2.5
Right.
hours than a movie, and B, they're not like crazy like super powered superheroes.
It's not outrageous. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot to be said of why, I think they do so well, and I think that's a big piece of it.
Oh, definitely. Another favorite scene of mine is the bank scene.
Oh God, that was awesome.
Upon watch, I didn't catch it the first time, but upon watching it the second time, so Matt comes back into the bank,
Mm-hmm.
right? And now all of a sudden,
Playing dopey blind guy.
yeah, dopey blind guy, and it cuts to where he's listening to people's heartbeats,
Mm-hmm.
and you go, and they do. I don't know if but they had that woman plant the bank robbers
Mhm.
did, and it just her heart rate is calm as can be,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, oh, just like
Oh
the-
my
just, like,
God.
little details.
Oh yeah,
Like that, because
like that-
then they cut to
because
cut
then
to one of
later
the
on
bank
you
robbers.
realize it.
But yeah, then but it's like he's like two or three of the people that are there, and then it's hers, and it's just like a
and
calm.
it's literally a blip, and
it's
you wouldn't
just-
realize.
But then it cuts to the other guy too. She's like, so was that? And then the second time through, you're like, oh, they did that on purpose. You're like,
Yeah.
that's
Okay,
There's a lot of weird things in like the way he
that's cool.
handles thing as like someone who can't see, like there's so much attention to detail.
Yeah.
Like if you like touching a coffee cup when he's pouring something is like
Yeah. Although
Yeah.
I think that's another thing that they do really good in this series compared to the Netflix, is that outside of him using his like weapons and,
Yeah.
the ability to like swing around and fly around almost like Spider-Man and doing the stuff,
Yeah.
I think that they do a way better job of showcasing his abilities that are enhanced because of that accident, which is
Definitely.
the sound and how he listens, how he connects with the world.
Yeah.
Like, you get a better sense of how that works in
Right.
this. It's not as campy as the Ben Affleck movie version of it, which I know you're a big fan, but
Hey.
You know, like it definitely it really works. I love how they focus on those sort of things, like
Yeah.
with the ears and how they like zoom in and stuff like that. It's definitely one of the things I feel like that makes that the series just a skosh better in that way than the original Netflix series. So, let me see. So, I guess the question at this point would be for you. So we're halfway through. You seem pretty invested. Um, is there anything that you hope to see or want to see, or maybe there's something that you know, it's probably a tough one if we try to say spoiler free too, but like anything you're anticipating outside of another episode coming out every week?
No, I think the only thing that I want for sure is I just want the Fisk Murdoch to remain.
Yeah.
I think it's a great
Mhm.
dynamic that they have. You can sprinkle in all these other things. You know what I mean? But just keep that going because it's working so well.
Right.
And even more of Gandolfini's character. Like if you know, it's all the character. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
Okay. More Punisher wouldn't hurt.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. We'll get there too.
I know. We will.
Apparently apparently they might do like one of those hour special episodes like they did with like
Nice.
a couple of the other ones.
Yep. Okay.
That's what they're thinking about him, and he's mentioned because that was my issue with the
I think
first
he already
Punisher.
spoke on it, didn't he?
He
That
did,
is-
and because one of my small complaints about the Punisher in the last series, like I like John Bernthal as Punisher. His version works really well for the MCU,
Yeah, definitely.
and I like that.
Yep.
It's not my favorite version of Punisher.
Right.
It's close to what Punisher is because
Are you a Warzone guy or?
yeah, big
Yeah,
time,
okay.
big time.
Yeah.
As a true like, I feel like, and even the campiness in that movie, I know was goofy, but like, it's pretty true to Punisher villains.
Yeah.
Punisher's goofy, some of the goofiness around him.
Yeah.
But also like what he looks like and how he behaves. Like we've never really seen a good enough like they've skirted around his version of Punisher being a real Punisher.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because in Warzone, you watch, the late great Ray Stevenson going in there, and he's literally snapping the neck of a 75-year-old woman at a dinner table.
Right.
In the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Like everybody's a target at that
Yeah.
point.
No
And
one's safe.
I'm
Right.
not saying Bernthal needs to go out and start,
Right.
whatever. But if you're part of a mob family, you're
He could
part of-
have that break still though.
That's what I'm
you know
hoping.
I mean?
You know what I mean? And,
Right.
and like I know that we've got him back clearly, and there's rumors that even the Jigsaw that they were working up for his guy in Punisher might be gonna come
Nice.
back. Yeah, so
Okay.
like I said, I love all the
Yeah.
Netflix series.
Yep.
I
Oh.
would love to see all these characters
I
come
would-
back, and they're saying that's looking pretty possible.
Sweet. I'd love to see Jessica Jones and even Luke Cage back.
Yeah,
You know what I
I'd
mean?
love
thought,
the
yeah.
Luke.
Yep.
Both of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Finn Jones is now advocating for himself to come back, and I don't not unless he takes some martial arts classes. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, those cuts.
The
were-
cut 13
yeah,
cuts per fight
Yeah.
scene takes you out of it. So
That was rough.
yeah, that
I
was
get it.
definitely rough. So
I get it.
but what are you guys out there thinking of the Daredevil series? Clearly super fan over here, even compared to some of the rest of us.
Yeah.
He's watching
Yeah.
it 2 or 3 times
Yeah.
after each episode.
Yeah.
But let us know in the comments. Let us know. Sound off. Let's hear what your thoughts are so far of this version of Daredevil Reborn now on Disney Plus.
Yeah, and definitely make sure if you don't like it to include your home address so I can show up.
Yeah, he wants to have some words with you.
Yeah, we'll have a little dialogue about it.
That's funny. That's funny. So before I let you go to get some D-roll, we've got some fun stuff coming up this year that we've been
much.
able to know.
No, not too much at all.
No, no, not at all.
Yeah.
We're really excited. So, what's going on the 26th later this month?
Ooh, all right. So on the 26th, so every year we do the Great Lakes Beer Festival.
Yes, we
which-
get a little drunk.
It's a good time,
get
right?
a little crazy.
Yeah. Dude just wanders off. Like, all right, dude, go get a beer, come back and tell us, and he's
Right.
just the next 4 hours.
Do you
we don't know
remember
where he's at.
You remember last year when
Yeah.
he looked at those tickets and we had to point out the sparkle in his eye when
Yeah,
he
we
realized
got 15 instead of 10, and
Right.
the dude was just like, dude won the lottery.
it looked like he just opened up like a Super Nintendo on Christmas morning.
Right.
Like that
Yeah,
was the look
yeah,
on his
yeah.
face, and I was like,
No.
"There's a sparkle in his
Yeah,
eye."
it was a great moment
Yeah.
that was caught. That will forever be in my
Yeah.
memory.
Yeah,
But so the 26th, they're kind of having. I don't know if it's like a kickoff or what the.
I think it is like kind of a hype to. I think
Right.
they may start just to kind of like advocate and talk about the Great Lakes
Right,
Beer
just to
Fest,
kind of get the name out there more throughout the year.
Right, promote something.
They're having a chili cook-off in Midland.
Yeah.
And we got invited.
Yeah.
To come check it out, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
So we're gonna shoot some content, try some different chili.
Yeah.
He was trying to get us to make our own chili. I don't make chili enough.
I don't really have a
Yeah.
like I get online. There's a couple of specific things that I'm very particular about when chili is being made in my home, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
Very particular.
Sorry, Britt.
Yeah, she already knows. She already knows.
Yeah.
A lot of beans for one.
Okay. All kinds of beans? Specific bean? Kidney?
All kinds of beans.
Okay. All right.
I want
All right.
like 3 or 4 beans.
Okay.
You know, if possible, 3 or 4, whatever. Even black bean. I love black bean.
I love black beans.
Black bean's the
Yeah.
best bean for me. But at this point, the big piece is making sure that all your vegetables and everything get sautéed in a pan first,
Yeah. Okay.
and then put it in there because it unlocks a lot
gotcha.
of more of those flavors. So
I gotcha.
you don't want to just put those cold things in
Yeah.
there. They just you got to sauté them a little bit.
Okay.
Get 'em like that. But that's a big one. But other than that, like a lot of chili powder, a lot of seasonings or whatever. I also like to put some sriracha directly into the chili, but that's here and there. But
yeah, you do.
point is,
Brittany.
I still get online, still looking for recipes and best ways to do it.
Yeah. That's definitely.
I mean?
And it's always something a little different every time I do it. Sometimes I'm using turkey. Sometimes it's one of those like white chicken chilies. You know
which
what I
is
mean?
awesome
which
too.
is really good.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's just traditional chili. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
it's-
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. and-
Yeah. I've never done a single one consistently
Right.
to be like, this is the best chili ever.
I don't try to improve anything every year. So I think it would be fun if the 3 of us attempted to make a chili.
Oh
but
yeah.
I just don't know if it's like there's probably gonna be people there that have like some legitimate like here's my grandma's recipe from 1842 and it's gonna be like, oh man, this knocked my socks off
Right.
or whatever. So
I'd hate to have to tell them it sucks when I'm talking shit to everybody there.
right, yeah, because if you make a chili, you have to. But yeah, so it's gonna be craft beer, it's gonna be
Yeah.
chili.
Yep.
So that's really exciting. So if you're, of course, in the area, or if you're not, and you want to travel for a fun event, holler at us. We can point you in the right direction. But
Definitely.
GreatLakesBeerFestival.com has all the information for that. Tickets are on sale. They're like not even that expensive. They're like 18 something bucks maybe.
Yeah, just for
you know?
base tickets, and it's a
Yeah.
great experience.
So you're
yeah.
you're gonna get some craft beer in you.
Yep.
You're gonna get some chili in you. That's a great way to spend about 4 hours on a Saturday afternoon.
I can't think of a better way. to
I
spend
mean,
this
right.
Saturday.
So we're really excited about that. So that's August 26th. And we've kind of announced it and talked about it, and we're gonna really probably start talking about it more sooner here now. The weather's breaking, and we're gearing in to August. But this year, we've kind of become partners now. Well, not kind of, we are with the Great Lakes Beer Festival because
Yeah.
we're all gonna be there doing some form of content, live
Yeah.
streaming from there,
Drinking.
getting some D footage, drinking.
Sorry.
We're definitely gonna be doing
So you guys are going to be streaming, right?
yes.
Which I think I might be able to get just a little bit more work done while I'm there. Possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I look at it like this. Like, I think it should be free flowing where, like,
Yeah.
we do this where we rotate,
Oh,
two in
I
or,
know.
or whatever and get some conversations in. Because I think it would also be fun, like, even if one person's here talking to somebody or if we're just got a BRB screen away, like, we're out getting some footage and talk, like, I can record you or whatever,
Yeah.
ask a couple questions like, hey, what's the beer that you're going through the most here or whatever, so I think it's going to be great to be able to have those conversations with some of the different vendors. And I know it's tricky because not all of the breweries have actual representatives from there,
Right. Yeah.
that's
that's the
so
hardest part.
sometimes, but some they do, you can at least ask, hey, what's the most popular,
Yeah.
what are you seeing the most, or what any feedback or anything you want to
Yeah.
share. So
Yep.
we're looking forward to it because it is literally one of the funnest things that we do now yearly, which is the Great Lakes Beer Festival, Dow Diamond,
Oh, it's something we look
Midland,
forward
Michigan.
to.
Yeah.
It's fun and it's close, and we can get a hotel right nearby
Mm-hmm.
and don't have to worry about driving or any
Right.
of that stuff. And it's just it keeps you entertained the entire time. And then there's stuff to do after, which we're also kind of going to be. I know we talked about it, but we're doing like a road to the Great Lakes Beer Festival kind of on our own thing too, where we're
Yeah.
just going to kind of give a whole bunch of information of not only the beer fest, but just stuff to do around.
Right.
So that way, if you do go, or maybe you've been going and you just go there and then you go home, you're going to have more stuff to do. A lot of fun stuff. So I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah. I'm really excited just generally about it, but then also get some content out there showing everybody what we can do during. Well, you don't want to do it during, but before or after as well. Because, honestly, they do, like, if you're there, you're drinking, and you're like, oh, you want to go play some hacky
Cornhole?
sack? Cornhole, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hacky sack.
Hacky sack. I don't know. The cornhole thing's such weird. Didn't we all call it hacky sack growing up? We always call it cornhole.
Yeah.
Oh no, not hacky sack. Oh yeah,
Hacky sack you played in college.
beanbag toss.
With the kid in the knitted hat.
Hey, bro, want to hang out tomorrow too?
Yeah,
I got something in my backpack
always
for you.
lost his shoes, you know.
Right, barefoot.
Yeah. Sorry if you're a hacky sacker out there.
Right. So, but no, we're really excited to be partnered with Great Lakes Beer Festival this year. It's an amazing event for us, just generally as people to go in and do it. But now we'll be able to be, there, take part in it, but also be able to promote it and just tell everybody. So if you know me and I know you want to come and hang out, holler, because we're your hookup and we want you to be there as well. So check out GreatLakesBeerFestival.com for that information, tickets, details for August 16th is when that pops off. And I'm telling you what, venue alone is worth.
Dow Diamond is beautiful. It's clean,
crisp, clean. Yeah, it's so nice that breezeway there that you're up there where all the concessions are. If it's hot out and it's even humid, you barely notice because you've got wind coming through there. You got shade. It's the perfect spot for this sort of thing. They're gonna have food trucks as well. So lots of fun stuff to do, and we want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to come out and enjoy it. So.
Yes.
You think? Yes? Okay,
yes.
That's a yes. He agrees. He agrees. So that's going to do it for this few minutes and hanging out with Josh here. Appreciate you coming and talk some Daredevil. We had some good conversation. Maybe dude can get past the intro sometime. We can have a full conversation sometime in the future on that. But appreciate you jumping in here. You're going to play some D&D at some point, right? For sure later on.
For sure
right?
later on, but maybe if I can get sprinkled in there, I'm down.
Good.
Down for the D.
Yeah, we'll get hopefully another session here shortly. So we'll be right back as soon as we can here, and we're hopefully going to get Steve in here to kind of talk about what's going on today as well.
And we are back.
Back once again.
Another Tones pee break,
Yes.
which
Yes,
is
one of my pee breaks.
always a thing.
It is.
And we are joined by Steve
How's it
from
going?
Boys
everybody?
Comics.
How are you guys?
Steve,
Good.
we're good, man. How are you?
Doing great.
Doing all right?
Doing all right. Yeah.
How's your better half doing?
Yeah, she's not doing so well. She's not doing so well. Yeah, I just had to take her to the Ready Med, the Med Express, whatever you want to call it. Earlier. And yeah, she got had pretty bad migraine the last few days, and started to get worried about that. So she's feeling a little bit better now.
Good.
She's resting up. And it's gone.
Yeah. And I know
back.
she's probably super bummed because I know she really wanted to be
She
here
really
for
wanted
today.
to be here. And hopefully she still makes it
Right.
for the after hours thing. like I said, she's resting up right now, so I gotta pick up some meds for her here.
Are those
in a little
meds
bit.
Verners? Because I'm pretty sure that's what we do in Michigan.
yeah.
When you have meds, you're just getting Verners.
Yeah.
So she's not from Michigan, so she
doesn't understand
she's
that.
Not on the Verner's train like everybody else is. Yeah, I had her. I wasn't feeling good one day, and I was like, "Can you get me some ginger ale?"
Yeah.
And I meant Verner's.
Yeah, of
'cause
course,
that's
of
like
course.
what,
Yeah, that's
if you're
gotta
from
have.
Michigan, that's what it is.
Right.
And she just ordered me some regular. I forget what it was.
Canadian
like
Dry or whatever it
Schweppes
is.
or something
Yeah,
like that,
Schweppes,
ginger ale.
yeah.
I'm like, what is this? It's like this doesn't burn.
right. It's not barrel aged, lady.
Gotta get that bronze burn going.
Oh,
down
right.
there, bro.
Right. Absolutely.
It surprises me how well Verners like works for stuff. The only thing I would say that does challenge Verners is a McDonald's Coke. Like if I have really bad heartburn, a McDonald's Coke will be
Yeah, the fizziness or whatever they do with their CO2 there is great for belching.
yes.
And-
See, the McDonald's Coke tastes weird to me.
Really?
Like, it doesn't taste like it used to. I feel like it's too sweet now. Like they're like whatever.
Oh,
whatever
like
they
too
do
much
to it,
syrup,
maybe
like
they
not-
change the
It's possible.
whatever they put in. Or, I don't know.
Interesting.
And it is very possible. And I will tell you that when it comes to Verners or the ginger ales, it's actually the ginger that's actually something that relaxes your stomach.
Yeah. Well,
It's,
ginger,
right?
Yeah.
ginger is known. If you have any stomach issues or issues with heartburn, like chew on some ginger.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, no. This
enough?
I just noticed the levels are a little low, so you
Okay,
might have to.
Yeah, I'll
You,
scooch
you
in.
don't have to deep
I'll
throat like
scooch in.
Tone does,
Let me,
but
like just pull this.
yeah,
out
honestly,
here.
honestly, you can, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Time for a rap battle.
Because I was in that before I actually got put on heartburn medication because I was trying to do some home remedy stuff. So
Yeah.
I tried to do like the ginger and all that, and I was making myself tea,
Okay.
like putting like ginger paste in it. And that works. It really does work, but it's like if you got really persistent heartburn, it
right.
works a little bit.
Band-Aid versus cure.
Exactly, yeah.
Mm.
So I can't just sit there and eat a whole tube of ginger paste.
I could. Do you like the ginger when you get like sushi? Do you eat any of the ginger?
I do.
I
Yeah,
love
do
it.
The ginger.
I love it.
I didn't realize how much of a fan of ginger I was until like maybe a year ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I do really like ginger.
Yeah, chew. I love that stuff. It's like almost like a treat. I know it's supposed to cleanse your palate between like sushi pieces or whatever.
Yep.
But I always use that as dessert.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
But
it
it's
came with dessert.
So pretty too, right? It's
right.
So pretty.
Yeah. Well, unless you get them from like the Meyer and it's like that white stuff. It's like, oh, it's been sitting here for a minute,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's fine. I don't
That
know.
was like Verner's was always a staple in my house as a kid
yeah.
for tummy aches.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
had tummy aches and Vicks. I don't know if
Vicks.
that's
Oh
the
yeah,
brand,
yeah.
Vicks.
Some Vicks.
Yeah.
Anytime
Really sick.
anything happens, I just rub. Is it Vicks? Yeah, the stuff that you
Really
rub on your.
sticky stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And
just
And like
smell-
my mom would always put it on my chest and my back.
I never
and then I'd have to
understood
put
that.
a shirt on, and that's the worst feeling.
That it is
Oh,
the
'cause it
worst feeling.
sticks to you.
Yeah, I hate
Ah.
it. Like, can't do
Ah.
it. Like,
I never
oh, God.
understood that because like now older, like whenever I get stuff, I just rub it
Oh,
under my
yeah,
nose.
yeah.
Dude. I don't do that like on the shirt. I'm just
I'm
like
not quite
it's all
Endorse
up in
it.
my beard.
Or just like
It's not
stick it up,
clearing up.
stick it up each
Yeah,
night.
it's making it worse. It's all sticky in there.
He picking his nose. No, he's setting Vicks up there.
I'm not quite sure how putting it on your chest helps.
I've never understood that. It was just
Probably
like,
has to do with
My
the
mom
vapor.
thought it helped.
Yeah,
The
that's
vapor
true.
goes up your nose.
Maybe. But like then you just put it like on your. On
You can little
just put it all on my face.
little D Sanchez right
gosh,
there.
I bet you that feels good too. Just put it all over the place. You just walking Vicks.
I can tell you where you don't usually want to put it.
Oh jeez, wow. This is a family establishment,
I don't
dude.
think Vicks is burns though, so I don't know if that would be.
Depends on where you put it. It might.
Yeah.
Some
Depends
areas are
on
more
some-
sensitive. Some areas are more sensitive than others.
Well, welcome everybody back to the stream.
Gosh.
Worth a try.
AC Mecca said, I
It
can
is.
send you a case. I'm from Michigan. Hey, we're from Michigan. We're actually in
Right,
Michigan.
yes.
We're in Saginaw, Michigan. We're at Coy's Comics
Right.
in Saginaw,
Some
Michigan.
would say this is the heart of Michigan.
This is, yeah, it's, I
probably
mean,
the
it's
only one
right.
to
I
say
mean,
that.
Koi
you know,
specifically is.
you know how we do things. It's just, we're right here. We're right here in the heart
Mhm.
of Michigan.
Middle.
Yeah, come and see us if you want to play some D&D today. Clearly, this is the place to be. Is at Coy's Comics.
Yes.
There's still some slots open, and even tomorrow, if you've got nothing going on, you need something to do, you need to be here because don't forget, 15% off everything
Yes.
right now except for
Except for new comics.
new comics.
Not new comics.
Yep.
15% off everything this weekend except for new comics. And if you play in any of the D&D
Battles. Use battles.
matches,
Battles.
case Drasten's listening, matches. If you play in any of the D&D sessions, you get double reward points on whatever you buy. So extra special bonus. For
Even if
everybody.
you're somebody who streams here today.
Even if you're somebody who streams. Yes.
He's
You
always
get
looking for
double points.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet. Hey, I can take that.
No.
You're not gonna buy that B-wing. It doesn't matter.
Dude,
I've
I'm
already got a
telling you
figure
right
up
now,
there. I got an action figure up there I'm going to buy, though.
We're not talking about action
Yeah.
figures. We're talking about,
I know. I got some coupons left. I might still pick up that B-wing at some point soon.
dude, he's been staring at that thing the entire day.
That's why you wanted to be.
I'm trying to
I
have a
didn't
conversation
because I was
with him.
worried
He's just
about this.
eyeing that up. That's all he's been doing.
All I'm doing is looking at everything around me. I mean, I had to put something in front of me here, even.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's
That's there to
shiny.
take his eye off the
is.
B-wing because he wants to walk out of here with it today.
You know,
I
if
do.
you don't buy that though, you already put it out into the how much you want. Somebody will come in here.
I really want the red one.
tomorrow, buy that one. You
Some
already
wa-
did it. You already put it out there.
Stop. Stop.
So, Steve,
Nice.
obviously, we got the D&D sessions
Mhm.
going here. Like, what got you guys to consider doing something like this?
Brandy.
Like, Brandy.
It
I mean, it was
Brandy.
mostly
It
Brandy.
was Brandi.
I
yeah.
came in last fall and
I-
talked to Brandi.
I'm just going along with it.
You're
That's
just here
all
for the
I do
ride.
anymore. I just go along with things.
That sounds like a good husband. He understands the assignment. You just go along with things.
Right.
Go along with it, and then I end up, being the one to do it when she inevitably is sick for the event.
That's a bummer that she's not, because Tom was saying, like, she was super excited about this, but it's pretty awesome that you guys can host something like this during
is,
work, working hours, and
Yeah.
still have something like this going. It's like, is this something you guys want to explore going further, like little events like this where you
Yeah.
can get more community people in here?
Absolutely. I mean, that's kind of what we're all about, is just bringing people in and being a part of the community and stuff. And
Mhm.
especially if we can just run like free events like this and people just come in and drop in and play.
Mhm.
But yeah, we want to start doing more. We already talked to Drasten about possibly doing something maybe once a month. Maybe Tone can like head that up.
Mhm.
Maybe you can DM a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
If you want to.
Oh man,
Getting it going that way. Like this is something. The bigger thing is we can do like maybe once or twice a year,
yeah,
and then kind of get a crowd going, like, and do it like once a month.
yeah. They want to do
Yeah.
more and more.
Yeah, but not just D&D, whatever. We'd be down with doing like a board game night and that kind of stuff.
Oh,
we
hell
love
yeah.
we love that kind of stuff. We got
Mhm.
tons of board games ourselves, and always looking to play that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
That's pretty rad. What else is going on? What else you guys got coming up?
Well, we got Free Comic Book Day.
Oh, man.
Little known holiday in the comic book world coming up at the beginning of May. So we're kind of just getting started promoting and doing everything for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be here before we know it. So we're doing that. We'll be doing a movie rental or theater rental for Thunderbolts.
Thunder. That's May
Ooh.
2nd, I believe it
Second,
is.
yep.
Ooh,
So
okay.
we're still debating whether we're doing it on Thursday night or Friday.
Oh my-
You know.
God, of course
So-
they would do that right before Free Comic Book
Yeah.
Day.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. Because the 4th is that.
So not only are you guys got to prep for that, then you might. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm gonna turn my phone.
Didn't you guys have that? Wasn't that an issue last year? Didn't Comic Book Day fall on something last year?
Let's see.
Mo-
Last year.
Year something with I
Well,
feel
it's
like
always during a movie.
Oh, it's
'cause
all-
they
yeah, there's always
plan-
something
yeah,
going
They
on.
always plan a movie. So yeah, we always have that to look forward to. And
Yeah.
it's always
man.
yeah. We're very overworked in May.
Yeah, there are several. I think there are several Marvel movies this year. Now we had Cap
Yep.
in February. We've got Thunderbolts. We got Fantastic Four. I think is that August or July?
October.
October.
I don't know. I
I
made
thought
it
it
up.
was
I
June.
was gonna
I
say
really
you're
don't
full
know.
of crap. I want to say it was July. I thought
Yeah,
it
I think
was
something like that.
And then
I
we've
know it's right around. I know it's right around. Like a week after. Week or two
okay,
after
yeah. So
Superman,
it's right
one of
there
them.
in July. It's
Yeah.
right there in July. I think, man, I want to say it's the 25th or something like that. But then, is there anything for the fall? Is there a Marvel movie for the fall, or is it just 3?
I don't think so. I think that's it.
Doomsday is going to be the next one.
That's May 2026.
Yeah.
We know that's next year. God, I
don't
think weren't we supposed to get Blade originally planned? Wasn't that supposed to be
Like
this
5 years ago, like a few years ago.
year? Now, how about that rumor? Blade, where they might have found the director in Chad Stahelski,
yeah.
director of John Wick movies.
Oh, really?
Because they've had all sorts of issues with the director. They've lost, I think, several directors now have walked away from them. And I don't know if Marshall Ali is still even tied to this anymore. But there was a story that broke that Chad Stahelski has been in discussions as being the next director for Blade, which I think would be
I think
amazing.
as far as the character, the fight scenes, and everything, like having somebody that's done John Wick movies would be perfect for a Blade
Now, the
movie.
only reason I'm concerned about that story breaking is they also just announced the other day that John Wick 5 is happening, and Chad Stahelski is tied to that too. So I don't know how you do John Wick 5, which hasn't even gone into production yet, and still get on Disney's timeline to deliver Blade unless that's further on down the road.
Oh, I'm sure it's probably way out there at this point.
Man.
Is that not supposed to be a TV show at this point?
Well, I'd say it's supposed to be a movie from the start.
Yeah.
They've had all sorts of creative differences with the directors. I think they've gone through, is it 2 or 3 now?
I think it's 2.
It's 2. Okay, yeah. So holy,
Honestly, it might be 3. But I think it's 2. I think one guy's gone through 2 different scripts, and that was part of it. But I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't even.
Yeah,
it's just been such hell, anyways. Regardless, but
what'd you think of that? We haven't had a chance to talk about this yet at all. What'd you think of that Marvel reveal for the Doomsday Cast, the 5.5-hour stream of chairs?
Yeah, I mean, I watched a very short, much shorter version of it after the fact. I'm not really surprised that that's what they're doing. It really feels like they're like this is just a step up from like Deadpool, right?
Sure.
Like Deadpool Wolverine. Like they're just trying to throw as much at us to get people excited.
Right. What's your thoughts on the state of the MCU right
because
now?
the last time we had a conversation here about it a couple years ago, you were definitely not feeling it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly, I like none of the movies that they've been coming out with have really. I mean, with the exception of Deadpool, I thought that was fun.
Yeah,
that was a lot.
that was
It
fun.
was a really
Yeah.
good movie. It was a lot of fun. Didn't do much.
Right.
For the
Didn't, as far as moving
progression.
the story forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. Hopefully, Doomsday will, but something tells me Doomsday is just going to be another like filler movie. I think. Until we get to like Secret Wars. And I feel more so like that now with them bringing back all these characters.
I mean, that's a lot of names that we saw. in
X-Men,
that
Fox
reveal.
people,
Yeah.
and apparently there's some. Halle Berry's a little salty. Apparently,
She is very salty. I remember reading.
I
that
wonder
story.
if she's hard to work with. Why? Because why wouldn't they? Because I
She
mean, I
might
get
be,
why
yeah.
Famike is not involved.
right.
Technically, because her character in that series is gone.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But wasn't Cyclops though too? Didn't they peace?
Cyclops did die. In
Didn't she
X-Men,
peace out?
in X-Men 3?
Was
yeah.
it 3 that he died?
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird
they
that
could bring her back.
you
Well,
know?
they did say there's going to be a lot more.
There are several other characters
Okay.
they have.
They
Yeah,
haven't
Feige
announced.
said they
Yeah.
haven't revealed everybody.
right.
And I know they didn't have Hugh Jackman. There's no way Hugh Jackman's not in this. I mean, when you have the
Yeah,
cast that you have already, there's no way Hugh Jackman's not in this
Right.
movie.
that would be really disappointing if he wasn't in it.
I could see Deadpool not being in it for whatever reason. I could see him not being there, maybe a small
Sure.
cameo. But
Yeah.
that one would make more sense if Deadpool didn't show up. But I mean, Hugh Jackman not showing up would be crazy.
Yeah, because you have all these other characters from the old X-Men movies. It's like you're going to have all these guys come in, and you're not going to have Wolverine show up. Like that
I know it's
doesn't make
almost
sense.
like the end of when it's going through the credits, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Mhm.
We got that send off, and even though like not everybody's a huge fan of them, like everybody's getting emotional in the theater, like oh my god, like
Right.
and so now all of a sudden they're gonna be back in Doomsday. I'm like, well, I want my tears back.
Right.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I was always a big fan of those movies. Like those,
The first two.
I was so excited. I even liked 3, honestly. Like
Did you?
3, it definitely there was a lot of things they could have done better about that movie, but it was a fun movie, right? And like,
Was it?
yeah, I thought it.
I mean, compared to some of the stuff that's come out after X-Men 3, like Apocalypse,
Right.
X-Men 3 isn't
The
bad
first-
compared to other
The
stuff.
first class universe of movies is not great.
Right.
Like they were okay. Like the first couple were okay movies, but like nothing great. But like when you think about it though, okay, you had X-Men and X2 were very dark, and they
Mhm.
were trying to that's what they thought was going to be more of a successful comic book movie, more of
Right.
a successful superhero
Gritty, dark.
yeah, gritty dark, throw all these characters in leather and all that kind of stuff. That's where we were at during that time
Yeah.
period, right? That's even where some of the comics were going with it and all that. X3 I thought was definitely more of a classic superhero
Sure.
kind of movie.
Mhm.
You know, I thought it had more action in it. It had, we got to see Beast in that one. Granted, Kelsey Grammer, I thought he was a good. No, not so much.
Well, hey, he's
But-
your beast going forward
yeah,
too.
No, I know. But yeah. I like 3. It's fun.
See?
Okay.
There you go.
Fair
All right.
enough.
Yeah,
Not
geez,
the best,
Tone.
but
I mean, I like that better than I haven't seen it in years, but I've never been a fan of like the First Class ones. I think I saw the first 20 minutes of First Class and said, nope.
Mhm.
I was
Oh,
pretty.
wow.
I was annoyed right away.
The
Jeez.
biggest thing about those movies that bugs me is that they made Havoc the older brother. That bugs me. It still bugs me.
It's such a dumb thing to change.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, and like I think for me with those, like you have such a great cast with McAvoy and Fassbender. They're not the problem
Mhm.
at all. A matter of fact, I think a young version of Magneto being Fassbender is kind of cool, but like it's the writing. They're awful. I tried even watching Apocalypse recently, finally, and I
Mhm.
was like 20 minutes. Nope. I mean, and it's Oscar Isaac. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm good on that. Like, I just
Not a great casting choice for him, I don't think. Anyway, you need like somebody big, like I don't know,
okay.
Someone
you need
imposing.
a physically
Yeah.
imposing person, and he's
Sure.
not. He's a great actor. He's just not. He's not a physically
makes
imposing
sense.
person at all.
That makes sense.
So what do you guys have you heard this rumor about what Doomsday is actually going to be?
I have not. I don't know. I've kind of like missed the internet and a lot of things because my focus has been different. Because like I guess there's a lot of negative buzz about the Superman trailer and all this stuff. So I'm missing a lot of these sort of things. So what is it? Because now you've got me curious right away.
So apparently there's this theory that the Tony Stark in the MCU was never actually Tony Stark. That he was Victor Von Doom. He was a variant of Victor Von Doom, and he was adopted by the Starks when he. So he's not actually Tony Stark in the MCU.
Whoa.
And this version of him in Doomsday is going to be like actual full on Doctor Doom, Victor Von Doom, and he is like pissed off at whatever Kang's character, whatever they called him.
Oh, the man. What was his name?
The time guy.
Yeah.
Whatever they called him. Like he was responsible.
He who remains.
Yes, he who remains. He was responsible for the destruction of Doom's universe, and that's what this movie is supposed to be. And that's where all these characters are coming. These older characters are coming in. Is they're supposed to be the versions of these characters from Doctor Doom.
It's kind of dumb.
It is kind of dumb.
I'm just saying, like, why would you want to like shrink your main hero of the MC? Like, whether you love Iron Man or not, or
Right.
Robert Downey Jr., like he was the center point for all of that. The
There
anchor
would be a
being,
lot of
the anchor
angry
being,
people.
yeah,
A lot of angry people.
yeah.
Because
Like
they're saying like the front runners of Doomsday said something about like they're doing something with this movie that is really going to challenge the audience,
Oof,
which
man.
makes me think that it very well possibly could be that. But I don't know. I don't know. I was just watching it like a video on this yesterday, and like it was like that it's just stupid enough that it might actually be what they're doing.
yeah, it's tough with those Siri things. I had to stop because like it's rabbit holes, right?
Oh yeah,
it's
Oh,
rabbit
yeah,
holes.
for sure. But I can't imagine like so to me. I know he came out on stage when he did that. He was wearing the Doctor Doom mask, and his whole thing was like saying, different masks, same task.
Yeah.
Like that. What if he's not actually going to be Doctor Doom at all?
That's my theory.
Yeah. What if he is just Tony Stark and this is just him coming back? Because when they listed everybody's name on that thing and they had the character they were going to be, they did not have Doctor Doom.
Really?
I think it just said Robert Downey Jr. and it didn't say.
On the chairs?
I believe so.
All the chairs just said their names.
Yeah, I
though.
think it was just their
Or
names.
I don't know. There was something where it was like a list. They were showing a list of the
Oh,
characters.
you're talking about not on the chairs, but the actual list that
Yeah,
came
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Okay, actually, now you mention it, I don't remember seeing a name next to his either.
It would make more sense if it was like because there's a variant storyline of some of these things with like it would with all the multiverse stuff they've been doing. Like, why would they want to tarnish the MCU's version of that character? And like I don't know, like make him a freaking variant because like there's supposed to be some story out there. If I remember reading that Victor Von Doom and Robert Downey Jr. Stark crossed or something like that.
Very
There's some
meta.
different. Yeah, I know, right. So I don't know. Like you made me mad by telling me that.
There
so
have been
frustrating to hear something dumb like that.
So there have been stories where like Doctor Doom, like there was it not Superior Iron Man, infamous Iron Man, where Doctor Doom took over as Iron Man after like Tony
Yeah.
Stark was dead or something like that.
Yeah, I remember
which is
all
an
that.
amazing
Yeah,
storyline.
yeah.
And if that's the direction they went with this, that would be cool. And just making him like a variant of Doctor Doom would
That's
be
what
perfectly fine.
I was kind of hoping,
But there's and vice versa where Iron Man has been like superior Iron Man, and he was like he's a little, he wasn't so much of a good guy during that storyline and all that, and and there's been other stories where he's like gotten that kind of stuff and worn it over his armor and all. So I mean, I could see them doing like a number of things with it, but yeah.
Well, technically, so the way we're saying this list, they've never called him Doom then.
Right, exactly. So what if he just came out on stage wearing that just because he's in Doomsday, right? Like that's him coming back. He's in it. He never said he was Doom. He just said different mask, same task. So what if he's just wearing a different helmet in this?
Or he's like the superior version or something like that of like a
Yeah.
And the real like Doomsday, the Victor Von Doom ends up popping out or something like that.
Tom Cruise.
Tom.
Finally, that rumor comes through.
How angry would everyone be if they got Adrian McMahon to come back to Doctor Doom?
Pretty mad.
Yeah.
What about Adrian Brody though?
The better option. I think
you're right on that. Yeah.
Who would play a good Victor Von Doom?
I don't know. I feel like
Mads Mikkelsen.
Ooh,
like he like top.
He was, he's one. Yeah, because I think that we've seen his name that like people have, like Dreamcast him as that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already been in the MCU, but they apparently don't care about that.
Yeah,
they don't give a shit about that. Variant this, variant that. Yeah, but I think initially he would be a really good one. Man, I think like a Daniel Craig or somebody. Like I don't know if he's got the right size or necessarily look, but I feel like the range that he could go, because like some of the Bonds that he's been in were like he really rides this line of like very like I don't know, monotone's not the right word, but just kind of like almost dark. Like I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know.
Ray Fine.
Oh,
Not too old.
Yeah. Okay.
A good one. Gary Oldman.
Oh, jeez, man, give me some Gary
shit.
Oldman in the
Gary
MCU.
Oldman can play anyone.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you could even do Dark Phoenix. You want it? I'd be cool with that. Just saying, she's
So
not,
angry.
Pull it off.
that's true. Yeah.
No, I like it. I'm with you, Steve. Like it's hard for me. I still get excited. I still get excited at the possibility that this can get to where we were once with with the Thanos storyline.
Yeah.
But I've told Tone several times, like, man, every time I watch like either Endgame or Infinity War comes on, I'm just like, are we ever gonna hit this peak again?
Oh.
Is the MCU ever going to hit like that? Because I mean, I feel like the whole Thanos storyline is just like, I feel like that was just a moment in time now, and I just don't know if we're ever going to get back to that. Like, I haven't gone into an MCU movie in a long time going, let's fucking go. Now I'm just kind of like, let's go check it out.
Gotta see it.
And then I come home and like it's not on my mind. Like every time I get out of an Iron Man or the further down the line we went, it was just like, oh my God, like what? I gotta wait how long to the next Marvel movie? Now it's just like, okay, I think there's 2 coming out this year. Yeah, it's just like
I don't think unfortunately I don't think they're ever gonna get back to that, and they're never gonna have that feeling again. They were doing something completely different than any other movie universe has ever done before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you never had something that was a cohesive universe like this, spanning across that many movies with that many like big name actors and all that. So it was very exciting, and they did like every movie, right? You're waiting for that end credit scene. How is this going to tie into the next one? What little nugget are they going to give me that's going to like make me think like what's going to happen? Like I'm gonna be waiting like 6 months for this movie, and I'm so excited because I can't wait to see what they're going to do with that.
Yep.
They don't do that anymore. Every time you're waiting for an after credit scene, it's a joke.
It's a joke, or it's something that's just tied to like that movie.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's no breadcrumbs, right? They're not leading you anywhere.
Yeah,
and some movies are like they definitely feel like they're more a part of the bigger picture than other movies do, and unfortunately, that's the fewer and far between than the other movies that feel like they just are there. They're just a movie to watch right now, right? Like we had, like the end of Multiverse of Madness, right? You get Clea shows up, and then they go into the whatever dimension they were going into, and Where is that?
No, I'm glad you meant that because I was seriously just because that was what Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
So she, we haven't seen anything with hers. Obviously, Beast at the end of Eternals all of a sudden makes Eternals like relevant again because you're just like, oh crap, there's Beast.
Marvels.
I'm sorry, Marvels.
Well, I mean, that's a good point though, right?
Yeah.
They just now touched on the Celestial at the end of Eternals with.
Oh yeah.
The new Captain America movie.
Yep.
Like and how many years has it been since Eternals came out?
I mean, I don't even
3
know.
now, I think. Yeah.
Like, I mean, not a great movie in my opinion. Not a great movie. I know some people, Gary, think
I didn't hate it.
I don't think it's the best. I actually like the movie though.
Yeah. Overall, I was like, okay, it's not bad. I didn't think it was bad as everyone had made it up to be. Like, where is this going to fit in? Is this even relevant?
I just think that they didn't market it right, and they need to have done a better job of explaining how it was working as a palette for like modern superheroes now and why they exist. I digress. There's a whole. It's just very convoluted.
But to keep going, I mean, who was at the end of who was it? Harry Styles showed up. He was supposed to be a big Star Fox. Harry's nothing with that.
Showed up at the end of the Thor movie.
Which one? Oh, the Hercules.
Yep. At the end
Love
of
and
Thor,
Thunder.
Love and
Yep.
Thunder,
Never. Don't know anything about that.
The worst Marvel movie.
Thank you.
Was not.
That's what
was
I
not
say.
a fan of that one at all. They took
What a waste.
what made the third one, Ragnarok, and just went way too in. I mean, Ragnarok, it was cool because like, okay, you got some good humor here and there, but it's still kind of BA. But
Buddy
then
cop.
they just really leaned into the camp of in the fourth one. I was like, okay, you've gone off rails. But yeah, there's been so many end credit scene where they introduce who was played Jon Snow at the end of Eternals. He was in Eternals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and they
Black
were
Knight.
leading him onto something.
Well, Marcella.
Yeah, Marcella
Ali.
Ali. Obviously, we have no idea.
Yeah,
if that's
he's like,
gonna
you
stick
sure want to
anymore.
touch that or whatever he says,
Yeah.
Mr. Blah blah blah.
But like nothing with that character. We have no idea. Like they show these characters and then they're just like, oh, cool. We get these big name people to play them, and then it's like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
It kind of just seems like they're floundering, like they don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they could have done it a lot better. Like the whole multiverse saga. I think they could have done that a lot better, made it more cohesive,
Yeah.
and just made people excited for these movies.
Well, it didn't help that Jonathan Majors also got
Well,
let go
yeah.
too. I think that they had to switch gears
Yeah.
and
They had to
you know,
pivot a lot
like,
on that.
You recast. I mean, they recast everybody. Like, just recast.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like,
Honestly, I just don't know why they don't either. It's weird. And well, there's been rumors that they might talk to him again too. So who knows?
Right,
They
I
might-
read
Yeah,
that.
with everything
they
that's
might
happened,
they,
yeah.
they might bring him back in, but
Yeah.
I mean, who knows at this point? I'll tell you, like after the last, like the original saga, the Infinity War saga, I will say I do love Shang-Chi. I've only watched it, probably 3 times total since seeing the movies, like total, I guess, and including the movie or seeing it in theater. But the 2 that I've watched post of that I love the most, honestly, is Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man No Way Home.
And again, those are tied to characters that were really prevalent in the Thanos storyline, and they're like big time characters that had big time roles. And then it's these other ones. You're just like, where are we going with these?
Right. I love Multiverse of Madness, and I know that's not everybody's bag, but I love Sam Raimi's direction style. I loved a lot about that movie just in general. And yeah, while it didn't move, I don't think the needle for storytelling, it was kind of like an adjacent kind of like bridge movie. I just, for whatever reason, I'm just really hooked into that film. And along with that, same with No Way Home. Spider-Man's like one of my favorite characters, and I so nostalgic about that movie. Every time I watch it, I cry twice in that movie. It's ridiculous, but it's just anything else around it just doesn't seem like it hit that buzz like that. And I still haven't seen the Captain America recent one, like
Brave New World.
First MCU movie I've not seen in the theater.
It was fun. It was a perfectly okay movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
that's like it was.
That's all I was expecting out of it. I liked the Winter Soldier, Falcon Winter Soldier series. I thought that was great. I like those 2 a lot, and I was looking forward to this movie. But time frame has not worked out for it. So as soon as I can see it, I do want to see it. But even Thunderbolts, like I want to be excited for it. But like, man,
Yeah, it's hard.
It's a lot. But you're introducing 7 more characters. I mean, some of them have had bit parts. Some of them have been around a little bit more, but another just big cast of characters you're throwing together to move the story forward somehow.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four might be the most interesting one because it's just they're not bringing in anyone else. It's just the Fantastic Four. We're just focusing on the family, which is great now. But then for those of us that are going to these movies hoping to see things moving forward, it's a standalone movie. I mean, they've already kind of said it's focused on this, so we're not going to get that move forward, setting up this and that, unless there's something good in the cutscene or in the end credits.
Well, I do think we're going to see them like move into
The universe, right?
Or at least move in that direction. But yeah,
but again, it's just crumbs at the end that we're getting to kind of like piece things together. Like what is
maybe a joke with Grimm dancing or something.
That's all it'll be.
That's all it'll be. That's
him
all.
Cooking in the kitchen with her.
Yeah. Him sounding like he's on, that
the
bear. Yeah, like they couldn't put any graveliness in his voice. Like they couldn't do anything like that. It's like what I say about Seth Rogen.
Maybe it's not done yet.
Hopefully, because it's just like that's all I can hear. It's like Seth Rogen doing voices and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's not Paul. That's Seth Rogen. You can't do like or something.
Because Chiklis, he had his voice messed with, right? Michael Chiklis and Fantastic Four.
Well, he at least did something with his voice.
Yeah, he did something with his voice to change it up.
Yes, anything. I don't even hate that version of thing. I like Chiklis.
Those movies were okay.
They were okay.
Yeah.
Well, that one was not good though.
The second one? Oh, you're talking about the Josh Trank one?
God.
Oh, the one with Miles Teller and all them. Wasn't Michael B. Jordan in that too?
Yeah. That one's.
I actually never even saw that one. Is it bad?
It's
terrible.
bad.
Terrible. Have you thought the Adrian McMahon version of Dr. Doom was bad?
Right. It makes X3 look like an award-winning movie that Martin Scorsese directed.
Oh,
like it's bad. Yeah, because Martin Scorsese did the directing.
So is it worse than Waterworld?
Dude, Waterworld's a fantastic movie, an Americana classic film, dude. Like it's a national treasure.
Steve, where do you weigh in on this?
I'll agree with Tone on that. Waterworld's pretty fantastic.
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
It's nostalgic for me. If I saw that movie today for the first time, maybe not so much.
No, I don't know about that.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Steve, you might actually really like that. You'd be like, man, Dennis Hopper doesn't get enough credit for his comedic delivery in that movie.
Yeah,
if we, one day if we can watch something for the first time again and experience it for the first time.
Don't even tell me Waterworld's in the top 3 on that.
No
effing way, dude. There's no way. No way.
Top 3?
Like top 3 movies that you wish you could see again for the first time.
No, absolutely not.
Okay,
no,
thank you.
There's
no way. Yeah, no.
He's so salty about Waterworld.
Well, what would be a movie that you'd want to see for the first time again? You could completely forget going in.
Man, 7 is one I wish I could undo.
Yep.
Probably I think of movies that were just like, Sixth Sense for sure. Sixth Sense was mindfuck. And honestly, man, probably the entire MCU. I wish I could go back and just watch all that again.
What would be a movie that I would?
You took my
7 and 6 Sense, yeah.
Man, that's a tough one. The Thing would be one.
Oh, that's a good choice right there.
The Thing. I watched that a lot just because I feel like that's all I'm going to say right now because I'd have to really think.
I mean, that's a tough question. There's a lot. I just went for the ones where the endings were just like, holy shit.
I'm thinking yeah, that's fair. I'm thinking like just movies that I really like Goodfellas or something like that, or.
I would also say Silence of the Lambs. That one doesn't have too huge of a shocking ending, but just amazing. You're just like, oh my god. And then OG, I'm gonna go Raiders. I remember the first time I ever saw that, I was like, holy shit, dude, this is crazy.
I'll probably say Terminator 2.
That's a good one.
That would be something like I just feel like that. I always try to classify is that a action movie, a sci-fi movie? Like where does it fall? Because there's so much going on and like what kind of genre, right? And I feel like every time I watch that, I feel like I'm watching it for the first time anyway. So maybe that's not a good one to use.
But... I was at 13 years old. I was crying watching it at the end, man. When he goes.
Oh yeah, man.
I was in tears, dude. Yeah, dude. I got the thumbs up. I was like,
right.
One of the saddest moments in movie history.
Yeah, it is. It's a great movie, though.
I'm the same way with shows, though, too. I always wish I could see Game of Thrones again. Well, first couple seasons before we get into the final one.
Yeah.
Wish I could see that again. Just what an amazing experience that was. But then the way it ended, you're just like, fuck.
Yep.
Do I want to do that again? Do I want to unsee it and just never go back to it? Be like, I don't want to be disappointed again.
Right.
You guys watch Severance at all?
That's why I
dude, Drasten was just telling me a minute ago. He goes, you guys,
he won't stop talking about it with everybody.
It's that good.
Just caught up on that. Oh my god.
That's what everybody is saying, man. That's the one to watch.
It is. Yeah.
Apple's got some
we
great
don't have
shows.
to wait too long for a third season because apparently there was like years between the first and second.
Yeah. Oh, there was.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I have to get on that one. I keep getting told Yellow Jackets as well. Like I know everybody keeps seeing them all over, but I
It
know.
just started dark.
Yeah,
know that's
I
been
hear
out
I
for
hear
a
that,
while,
but I
but-
hear good stuff about that. That's Netflix, I think, right?
That's Netflix. Yeah.
Yeah, hear
That's
that.
when you got it's German, so you either got to watch it with terrible dub.
Tone's not a reader. He's not a subtitles guy.
Don't project.
See,
I watch
normally-
anime,
Normally,
man.
I'm not either. Normally, like if I'm watching anime or something like that, I want to watch it dubbed.
Yeah.
But we started watching this one dubbed. And I was like,
Just that
I
bad?
told Brandi, I was like, "Do you mind if we just watch it with the subtitles on? Because this is horrible. Like,
That
I can't-
bad?
Yeah, like I
Oh,
can't
man.
get into this thing with these terrible voiceovers.
Funny.
If you want to laugh at voiceovers, if you guys ever get a chance to watch Die Hard 2 on cable or on regular TV where it's all edited, the dude they bring in to do Bruce Willis's voice is this high-pitched Southern accent. So when he's like, yippee-ki-yay, he goes, yippee-ki-yay, he's like, mother, father. Like, it's just something, it's just this weird Southern, it does, you can tell they just grabbed some random dude and said, here, voiceover work now, read these lines. It is horrific for Die Hard 2. It's really bad.
It's pretty weird.
Yeah, dude, it is. You hear it, you're just like, is this a joke?
That's funny.
Is this an SNL skit or something? Like, why is his voice like that? It's really, really bad. It's really bad.
Well, we should probably bring it home because I know we want to get ready for some later stuff as
Yeah,
well.
we got a big
evening
one
yet
shot
still,
coming
too.
up tonight.
We want to get prepped for that, but
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we're
okay.
gonna actually try to stream it. We're gonna
So,
get everything set up back
yeah.
there.
Okay.
Have a
so
live,
we're
man.
gonna try and stream that live while we're all playing. Hopefully, Brandon can make it as well.
Hopefully,
But
hopefully.
we're gonna try and get. I brought my camera as well, so we're gonna do like a 2-camera setup. We
Okay.
got the 3 mics. We'll see. Hopefully, that'll work out okay. But we'll kind of probably try to cover that too. But as always, we really appreciate
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys for always letting us do things like. I just had this random idea last fall, and I was like, I'm gonna go talk to you guys about it, and see what you guys think because I just feel like it's always something. There's not enough places around that do D&D or like you say board game stuff like that. And as soon as I started bringing it up to Brandi, and she was like, yeah, absolutely, like she was sold right away because it sounds like that's something that she's been wanting to do anyways.
Yeah. And it was something we've talked about over and over again, and glad we got the opportunity.
Yeah. So I appreciate you guys always being in on that sort of stuff, and it's fun to hang out. I always say it's my favorite place to come anywhere locally right now. So I as long as I don't get tear-upped on all my toys, but it's coming though. The B-wing I'm gonna get tear-upped on, I'm sure.
But Steve, tell the viewers.
We can have another show where we talk about this stuff.
Hey, I'm telling you, we can go down some rabbit holes. But Steve, let people know where they can find Koi's Comics.
Yeah, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram at Koi's Comics. We're on YouTube, Koi's Comics, something on. I don't know. Look it up, you'll find it.
You'll find it if it says Koi's Comics.
yeah.
We'll put the links in the description.
It'll all be in the
anyways.
description.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
you
We'll
need
take
to
care
do.
of it because he can't remember it.
Come visit us at the store if you're in town.
Address?
3220 Bay Road, Saginaw, Michigan. Love to see you.
That'd be awesome.
Come down and play some D&D.
Hell yeah, or buy some comics,
Or buy some
or buy a
comics.
B-wing that Tone apparently
come
doesn't
buy
want.
come buy that B. If you come buy that B-wing, I'll give you a heck of a deal.
Oh, unless your name is Tone, then you're not getting shit. Oh, we also have one more thing. Lord of Thane said The Lost Boys is the movie they'd want to re-see. for the
Oh, that's
first
a good
time.
one as well.
It's a good one.
I don't want to be Predator. But
Man, now if you want to do
Yeah,
this
you
stuff,
rabbit
now
hole.
I'm talking
This
like
is
Ferris
our-
Bueller's Day Off, Roadhouse, Terminator, the first one.
Showgirls.
I mean it's
What?
but chairman of the board with Carrot Top. I'd want to sit through that one
It's
again.
one of your favorites. A Million to One.
All right,
I don't
that's
know, I
gonna
don't
do it. We're done here. We're gonna let Steve get
Right
back to
now.
work as
All
always,
right.
man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Brandi, if you're out there
appreciate you.
watching, we hope you can make it tonight.
No, you're the man.
But yeah, we'll be live a little bit later on tonight with a one-shot session of D&D, a battle.
A
We're gonna do a
match.
D&D battle
Yeah.
for Drasten. So make sure you tune in for that, and we'll be back here in a couple hours. Thanks for hanging out.
you guys.